It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. Gail, today we have a special co-host. Tell me how that all happened.
This is a very special co-host who's come to us through the charity organization.
CharityBuzz.com through Why Hunger.
This is our new addition for the day. Richard Lerner is our co-host.
Yay.
Richard Bennington.
Hello, everyone. Richard Bennington for the day.
You know, Richard, sometimes this works out and it becomes standard after that. You know, so today's the day.
This is my audition.
Yeah, you'll have an easy job for the rest of your life.
That's good, because I love driving into the city every day.
You know, today, I think traffic was at its all-time worst. And at the same time, because I was running a little late, my phone burned out because I have no home plan. I don't know what I'm doing at all. I have to jump out of the car and, you know, try to make the dash here, jump out, hit the curb, it's slick, and I do the embarrassing ass overhead in the street. Even though today I had a heat pack on my back because I've been going through some back things. So I was just, as I'm tumbling, I think there's no dignity whatsoever to my life.
I've had that experience. I skidded across 48th Street once.
Yes, dude, you do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've
We've been with you so many times. That's not news. The fact that I did it is news.
I'm just saying, I know the feeling. I still have a scar on my hand from the time I just busted my ass.
No, Richard, you seem very familiar to me. We met before, right?
We have met once before.
Where at?
In this studio.
Is that right?
During the Opie and Jimmy show.
Well, they're not.
But they didn't let me speak.
They're no longer. Now, what were you doing here that day?
Same thing. Why Hunger. Charity Buzz.
They just let you sit.
Let me sit and watch.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
They're not nearly as generous with their. Although I'm going to see them on Wednesday, so. Well,
you bought them
Jimmy
too?
and Sam. Yeah.
All right, so you're the guy who go, because I didn't even know that this thing was going down. And then I heard.
Well, it was a year ago I did this.
Is that right?
There's another auction going on right now.
So there's another one for next year?
Yes.
All right, so if you'd like to be part of that, I don't know where you go for that, though.
CharityBuzz.com.
CharityBuzz.com.
That's all it is, CharityBuzz.com.
But that's something that we should be promoting to people.
Yes.
You know, to me, I think that we should.
It's such a cool opportunity. I didn't even know it existed.
I want to go do some other stuff. I want to go in and co-host things with people. I want to do this with the Today Show.
I think you were the only one that let someone go on live.
Is that right?
Yeah. Everyone else is pre-recorded.
Do you see that, Chris? You know why? Christmas love.
Charity.
Love.
Charity,
Christmas
Ron.
love and charity and trying to feed the unclothed and to clothe the hungry. That's what I'm out to do. Give people things that they don't necessarily want. Like, if there's hungry people, give them some shoes.
Shoes.
Yeah. Or some printers. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Here's some printers.
These are great.
I don't have a printer. Give someone else a
You
printer.
don't have a printer?
No, I don't have a printer.
What do you do when you want to print stuff?
I can't. I have to come in here. I have to come to work to print it.
That's actually illegal.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if
Did
it's
I
illegal,
just-
but it's frowned upon here.
It
I
is.
just fucked up with HR?
It's strongly frowned upon.
Oh, God.
I think we were at JFK when they caught Fezzy leaving with a bunch of computer paper. I mean, like, packs of it. And I think he screeched, "I work from home." I think that was his thing, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure.
You are, with a computer, you're no longer off of work anywhere.
I'm sure that he was not using that for private printables.
Trump Cock, why don't you plug what you got to do while I go over and grab my phone and reboot?
Okay, it's go to Trump at Trump Cuck on Twitter.
Well, tell me what you're doing.
Well, look, I want everyone to get
this.
I want everyone to go to the ibang.com to pick up.
Look,
Start with what the product.
You buried your lead, dude. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And I was worried I wasn't going to be any good.
No, you're real good.
No, you're fine.
You're already, seriously, you're
Should I move over there?
It would not be a problem.
No, Richard.
You almost sent them to a website that doesn't exist. Go to www.trumpcock.
I wonder why you stink at this so bad.
That's a good question.
'Cause this is like our yearly thing we do with you.
Yes.
And you have zero interest in it.
I have nothing but interest in it. So much interest,
Stop,
Ron.
just be yourself. Stop this weird infomercial guy that you're doing.
I have so much interest in this.
He's still upset about the fact that you fell, I think.
I know.
He's shaken up.
But you know what bugged me? You had to top it. You know, and tell me about the time they cracked his tooth.
No. I'm just saying I understand what happened to you. That's empathy, Ron. That's empathy. I have so much interest in this that a giant celebrity has blocked me on Twitter. He's blocked at Trump Cuck.
Is it Trump?
It is not Trump. Incorrect.
Am I supposed to guess?
Guess.
I'm still looking for glasses and stuff.
Is it a Trump? Is it a politician?
It is not a politician. Giant celebrity, though.
Comedian?
Not a comedian, but has done comedic things.
Movies or TV?
Both.
Comedic actor in movies and TV?
Yes.
No drama whatsoever.
Has done drama as well.
And it is a he.
It is a he.
So we just took out Will Ferrell.
Is this person a known Trump supporter?
No.
Is he an anti-Trump supporter who doesn't get your bit?
I'll just say anti-Trump supporter. And they got the bit all right. They blocked me.
Yeah, but that's not the bit. I don't know whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump.
If you're pro-Trump, you get the Trump Cuck T-shirt. If you're anti-Trump, get the Trump Cuck T-shirt. It's an umbrella term. Everyone can be a Trump cuck, no matter what you feel about Trump. Because he's cucked all of us.
It's bad branding, is what it is.
I don't know if I'm supposed to wear it or burn it.
Wear it or burn it.
Either way, I'll purchase one.
Yes.
You know, I feel the same way about the flag.
You guys are getting close.
Is this someone that Trump Cuck tweeted to?
Yes.
And that's why they were blocked?
I believe I know why he blocked me.
Well, tell us that part.
Okay, I blocked him because I called him a cuck for pushing his child around the street, and there are pictures of it.
You blocked him?
He blocked me.
Okay, because you just said I blocked him. For pushing his child around in the street.
I called him
You mean in a stroller, or was he being mean to the child?
In a stroller.
Is this? Well, I was gonna say Leonardo DiCaprio when we said anti-Trump, but
that's
he's
nice.
I mean, he has no known children.
Oh, no. He's got kids. He's got little bastard kids.
And they're beautiful. They're all little model babies.
I don't know. Have you seen him lately? He's left the beauty behind.
I know, but he starts off well, so I think
okay, so the baby's
the baby's going to be great.
Is this somebody who has done the Saturday Night Live? Has he hosted Saturday Night Live before?
Yes.
Wow.
Is this somebody who hosted this last season?
They haven't hosted this last season, but they've been on a number of times.
Bing, 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 bing. You got it, Gail? Because that's how you go.
Is it Alec Baldwin?
It's Mr. Alec Baldwin.
I had it the same time you did.
So what did Trump Cuck say to him?
The last thing I said to Alec Baldwin was, "Yo, Alec Baldwin, you think real Donald Trump ever got caught pushing hashtag Young Baron around? Hashtag cucked, hashtag sad." And a link to pictures of him pushing around his
You
child.
don't bring in somebody's kid to this thing, dude.
No wonder.
You've actually brought in 2 celebrity children, which is bad.
But to know that he was annoyed so much by that Trump cuck.
Deserved. Well-deserved block.
Richard, what do you do for a living?
Finance. Nothing interesting.
Nice. Now, were you pro-Trump for the finance or anti-Trump for the finance?
For the business?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Nobody
I
does.
don't think we know what he's going to do.
No one does. We know one thing. He hates China, loves Russia. That came out over the weekend.
Right.
But I will give him full credit for this. He is the most unpredictable person that's ever held that office. Ever.
He said he doesn't need intelligence briefings every day.
He says he's a smart guy. Tell him once and he'll get it. Don't come in every day and tell him where the nukes are. Which I love, because I don't like to hear things over and over either. I like to hear them once and then say, well, then, my thing is always, well, then will you fix it?
Well, what does he want instead of the briefing?
Nothing. He says
he doesn't want to know?
He says if anything ever important comes up, he can be reached in a minute. But he doesn't want to hear about ISIS every fucking day. We get it. ISIS.
Drones. We got drones, right? Send them over there.
I always say this. Don't come to me with a problem. Come to me with a solution. Let me sign off, phone. Let me take credit for the solution.
I'm not sure if that's presidential, but it is a good motto.
No. But it makes life go easier. That's what I'm after right now. Chris, somebody sent us in this. I don't know what it is, but it's like a cuck thing from Thursday show. And it's AmPen And from what I understand, this could be a commercial.
It's from Ampen. This is a montage of every time we said cuck during the first break of Thursday's show.
Okay, let's hear it. Cuck. Fuck myself. Cuck myself.
Cucking.
Cuck.
Trump cuck.
Cucking. Cuckold.
Cucks.
Cuck. No, nothing.
Cuck. Republic cuck.
Conservative cucks. Cuck.
Trump cuck.
Cucko.
The cuck hates chicken salad.
Hashtag Trump cuck.
Cuck.
At Trump cuck.
Cuck.
Trump cuck.
Cuck.
Cuck block. Double cuck.
Cuck blocked. Cuck blocked. Cucks. Cuck.
Double cuck. Double cuck.
Double cuck. Cuck block. Cuck. Double cuck. Cuck. Double cuck. Double cuck.
Cuck.
Bennington. That is embarrassing.
Taking the world by storm.
But I do like that cuckold was formally represented.
The word cuckold is not used as much as it should be.
I know.
And no, because of cock, it's no longer used at all in the way that it was intended.
Oh, no. Antiquated. It's over with.
Now, when you think of cuckold, do you expect there to be a white husband and a black lover?
That is that is the stereotype of the cuckold, yes.
So how does this fit in with the Trump thing?
Well, see, no, because it's a metaphor, because he's cucking us out.
Right, but he's not the black guy.
No.
It should be Black Lives Matter cuck.
See, that's a stereotype. I'm against
Like
stereotypes.
you can use the Obama. You are a stereotype, Queasy.
You can't help it.
Astoria.
Mitchell Walters just called me.
Well, it's great to know. Let me know every time you get a personal call.
I will.
Did he win over the weekend?
Yes, he did. Everyone survived.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
So
my
we
God.
won't be. This is 14 weeks in a row. We're doing the Highlander contest. 14 weeks in a row. And at no point have we never done this that we won't be here for the end. But with the late Christmas, we won't be here. Not late Christmas, but the late way they went into this.
If they make it to the end, we'll be here for week 17, because there's 3 more weeks of games left. Yeah, and if they survive,
So we will be back in time if they go all the way to the end.
if they go, we'll be back for the last week.
All right, so what's your bet?
I'm gonna say
Somebody going to be there? Is it still going on at week 17?
it's still going on. 2 people will be there. Mitchell Walters and Robbie Slovic will be there when we come back.
You're counting out Florentine.
I think Florentine's good. I've looked at the teams. I think Florentine's running out of fucking smart bets.
No, I'm going to be with Florentine on New Year's Eve at the stand. What's the place to get? We'll do it later. But anyway, it's the New Year's Eve show.
Nice. That's going to be so much fun.
I feel like Eddie Trunk spending New Year's Eve with Florentine. Eddie's going to be furious. Do you have New Year's Eve plans?
I do not have New Year's Eve plans yet.
Chrissy, you sitting alone with tuna fish sandwich?
A nice pile of tuna for myself.
And you haven't started drinking again?
No, not yet.
Richard, what do you do for New Year's Eve?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Not
Amateur
anymore.
night to you.
Yes.
I get that.
Been years. Used to go to Bermuda.
You know what I call amateur night? The gay parade. That's what I'm doing. You know what? I'm not. I go out and do it every other day.
You're living it.
Why? Yeah. Why would I do it on that day?
It's like as though there's just one day to wear a feather boa. Doesn't make sense.
Vito, send somebody in to take a message for me. I'm gonna write down a secret message.
Send young Connor in. He's trustworthy.
No, it's Jen. She's got the speed.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm just gonna write this secret note down for somebody.
Please keep private. Great shirt.
None of these pens work. It's
I have one here.
let me just write. You guys can keep talking while I'm writing a note.
Because I've had so much to say so far.
You're doing really
You're
well.
doing
I feel
so well.
I mean, I can't tell you how bad most people suck on the air.
You're killing
Thank
it.
you.
I feel like, and you know, with a near late because of a fall, it was nearly
I thought
went
that was
from
professional. He came in perfectly. He had 10 seconds before we went on the air. I thought that was intentional.
Yeah. No. It's very close with me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's normally like here's what the difference was. With my phone out, I couldn't say start the show. I don't even know what song you guys did today.
we did the waitresses Christmas Wrapping, which happens to be both me and Richard's favorite Christmas song.
Favorite Christmas song.
Wait a minute, favorite of all time?
Of the modern Christmas songs. Not of the classics.
We're actually having someone pop in. What time, Chris?
1:30.
1:30 to talk about, Chris, this is a famous songwriter who runs the writers thing for the writing people. I think it's the name of this. It's the writing thing for the writing people. Mr. Paul Williams will be here.
Very cool.
To discuss this very topic. And I guarantee you neither one that he won't say the Waitresses song.
No. That's like one that you're not sick of because you don't hear it as much. That's why I like it.
I don't think I've ever heard it before today.
Chris had never heard that song.
Have you heard of the Waitresses?
No.
Neither is surprising.
Come on,
Richard's
I have listened to the show occasionally.
Now, they also had a TV theme. They did the Square Pegs theme, which was one of the cooler shows of the 80s. A very short-lived show. But why are you typing shit up? Why can't you just be a person?
Just be a person. We're talking about Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker was in it.
As such a youngster.
And Bill Murray did a guest appearance on that show.
Really? I did not know that.
As the cool substitute teacher, who I believe wore a tie and a pajama top.
That's very cool.
I thought it was amazing at the time. Why haven't I thought of this?
But yeah, that Waitresses song is like one of the ones that you don't hear often enough that you're like, every time I hear it, I'm like, yes, that's an awesome one.
I'm not way about All I Want for Christmas this year.
Really?
Never get a chance.
Really?
I heard it 4 times today, coming in from other places. That's the modern Christmas classic. But we should be saving this for Paul Williams.
Yes, let's not discuss one bit
favorite
more.
Paul Williams song.
That's really tricky. I'm not sure.
Richard, you got one?
Rainbow Connection.
It's a really
that's such a sweet one.
It's a great song. It's a little bit heartbreaking too.
It is really sad.
I never understood why. Well, he had that big Carpenters hit, which was, I think, We've Only Just Begun.
Yeah.
Then he wrote for Barbra Streisand. He won an Oscar for that. But my own is a song called Fill Your Heart that he wrote for, David Bowie recorded it.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, the Hunky Dory album.
I had no idea.
Look at Chris. You don't know one of these references. You never heard of Bowie before. Really?
What's Bowie?
Go to trumpcock.com. Be a cock is what I'm saying. Your ability to get across the point is next to zero.
It's bad.
Yeah.
So Bowie, like the knife?
No. In England, they say Bowie.
They do. David Bowie.
David Bowie. David.
And then what was that little pop punk girl who was like more of a pop star?
Avril Lavigne?
Yeah. I remember she had to do something for an award show once, and everybody got really mad because she was like David Bowie.
But
and
she's
then later
a little girl.
And later somebody said like she's young, plus like she has an accent herself. But I don't know if she's Canadian, right?
Yes.
Do they say Bowie?
No, they say boot.
A boot.
Yeah, a boot.
David Abuti.
Yeah.
It would have been Bowie.
Yeah, he would say, actually there's no reason to attack people for mispronouncing things. I mean, it's the fucking world we live in.
My 16-year-old daughter knows David Bowie.
That is true. I mean,
told me about him.
Yeah, my kids were raised with Bowie too, but we're not Canadian.
Right.
I mean, if I lived in Canada, they'd be focusing on hockey and back bacon. Chris, what age did you become aware of Bowie?
17.
What was it? What set it in for you?
I think it was Heroes. I think I'm hearing Heroes. Like,
wow, you waited.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you went like, oh, okay, way deep, way long after the hits.
Oh yeah, long time. And then, because in high school, I mostly listened to hip hop, which is very strange. I listened to the Beatles till I was in college.
So you were just straight hip hop in high school?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Very strange when I look back at that.
How come you never bring it up?
Yeah, you don't. I've never heard you talk about hip hop with any passion.
Zero passion.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I was even that passionate into it then. I was just listening to it. It wasn't like it didn't really affect me at all. Just like everyone else.
You were just like, oh, This
East
is
Coast
what.
or West Coast?
I figure him for a Biggie
East
guy.
Coast.
Yeah.
Biggie and Wu-Tang. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Any Fat Joe in your world?
More of a
Just
lean back.
You do lean back quite a bit. Hey, can I see if my phone's
Sure.
working?
It
I'm
was
cut off from the
very
universe.
dead.
No. Oh, no, I know it is.
It was as dead as I've ever seen a phone.
We cannot help you. Oh, good. Now I get to see all the different panic texts.
Hey. We were going to go ahead and do a show today. What are you up to?
You're coming in, right?
Did we do something?
Isn't it funny just like how, like if someone's phone isn't on now, like we go into panic like they must be dead?
Oh, fully. 100%.
I'm from a pre-cell phone world where even like I was in high school and it was in the summer, my parents might not hear from me for a couple of days, like if I went to a beach or something.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't know. They just wouldn't know.
I can't imagine that. I mean, you have a daughter. Would you
I have a
freak
daughter.
out?
Yeah, would freak out.
If you went, how long? How many hours before you contacted
Depending on where
her?
she is.
Yeah.
Depending on where she is and where she's
So
going.
when
But if
she's
she
in-
moves somewhere, I'm supposed to know.
Right.
But if she's at school, fine.
Fine.
But if it's 3:40 and there hasn't been a check-in,
No, it's not that bad.
how bad is it? 5 o'clock?
No, during the afternoon, it's fine.
Okay.
So it has
If
to be like
especially
night.
if we know where she's going in
Right.
general. But at night, yeah, it's when she moves from place to place, and if she's supposed to be there for 3 hours, at about 3:01.
Now, how are kids supposed to party now? Like when we lied to our parents when we went out and we got high. But now what do kids do when they get the call at 10 o'clock at night? Just checking in on you, hon.
Phone was dead.
And that's
Just
what they're going to do.
Just like them, they missed radio shows.
Their phone dies every Friday and Saturday night.
It's amazing how those Apple batteries just wear out so quick.
Well,
Phone dead.
when I was in high school, there wasn't text messaging. It was like had to call but the rule was if I changed boroughs, I had to call my mom.
There was
Like going to a different borough, just to let you know.
when Gail was in college, if we didn't hear from her for like 2-3 days, we would just let the ants know, and the ants would go crazy looking for her.
Yeah, constant calling and texting and just like leaving panicked voicemails.
One of your aunts,
so then when
I
I
said,
checked it,
I'm on the phone with, and she says, how's Gail doing? I go, we haven't heard from her in a couple days. There's a beat, and I just hear, I'm on it. I swear to God, I'm not even making that up. And then I just hung up and started laughing.
Which is why you two still talk, because they're doing your dirty work.
Well, exactly right. And that's why it takes a village. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to start screaming at your aunt, hey, why don't you leave me alone and let me live my life?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they're not in your life enough to do that. You
Right.
don't
Now
have-
we blame Trump cock because we don't have Hillary and no village.
you know, it is true.
It takes a village of cucks. That's what I like to say.
I don't like to say it. You're just
not-
lost in this.
I made a
bit.
mistake.
when
I
did
threw
you
it
like
back to
to say
him.
that?
I see I'm still learning.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when the great Paul Williams gets here, I want you to lay on the floor so he can see you.
Will do.
It's not easy being green. Did he write that one?
yeah, or no,
No, I don't think he did.
he did the
He did
Rainbow
Rainbow
Connection, but not that song.
Didn't write everything for Kermit.
I'm wondering if he's furious. Like, what the fuck is with Kermit? Here's another thing that he wrote that I think is just phenomenal. The musical Bugsy Malone, which I raised you on.
Love that movie so much, and love the music from it.
And do you remember the two?
Bugsy Malone.
Do you remember the two stars of it? They were little kid stars. Jodie Foster,
And
Chachi Arcola.
yeah, I was going to say
who
Trumpy.
is now a Trump cuck.
Yeah, he is a full-on Trump
It
cuck.
all comes back around.
See? And this is the natural way to get back to Trump cuck.
Trump said over the weekend to China, I will cuck you. Trust me on this. I will be the black bull, and you will be the white husband crying in the corner.
Masturbating.
I didn't know it was specific to race.
It's not, but it's got to lean 90% that way if you're looking for a fun video.
To make it work.
I actually think it's Shakespearean. So.
And I will say this. I don't want to, if the cuck is jacking in the corner, I don't want to see an enormous penis there. I mean, I think that is out of character.
It's got to be like a pathetic dick.
Yes. It's got to be a look at that small penis.
And then then the bull is just like, I can't work under these conditions.
The bull's just staring at it in awe, and then finally it starts to affect him.
Yeah.
Where
I can't work.
Yeah. Vito, I never had this before with my producers. No picking your elbows during the show.
Sorry, they get very dry when I wear a sweater, and it's very uncomfortable.
The word is ashy that you're looking for. You got ashy elbows.
Very ashy elbows.
I have Loesch if you need.
Shin? Mm-hmm. What kind of hair are you in?
I was in a bit of a rush. I just wanted him to know because I know how dry he is right now.
Yeah, it's very white, very ashy, and sometimes it scabs.
Oh, I just saw it.
That's bad that it scabs.
Only with sweaters.
How tender is your little Italian skin? Italians are supposed to be hard people.
Everything but the elbows.
This is specific.
I got good knees.
That's not true.
It's eczema. That's what's going on there.
Not eczema.
I don't think there's a bunch of people in their cars. Vito's right, Our elbows, right? Am I right, guys?
When he's right, he's right.
Yeah, our elbows are so tender. Boy, I just rubbed my elbow. It's just unbelievably smooth. Really nice elbow so you got going.
That's awesome.
Well, it's the world of not doing real work ever
Feels
in your
good.
life.
Everyone here is rubbing their elbow.
I Loesch daily, so
I'm not doing it.
You're curious, though.
you want to try?
I am curious.
Copperfield.
I know what they feel like.
Did you just yell Copperfield?
Copperfield.
Copperfield. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, guys? Copperfield. One day, Vito hopes to move. He has a summer home in Staten Island, but he hopes to retire there year round. It's beautiful here this time of year, isn't it? Staten Island Beach.
I want to take that magical boat ride to the vacation city.
Is there a beach in Staten Island? Does anybody know?
I think there is.
I don't think so. I mean, I knew a lot of people who lived in Staten Island. They always seemed to go to the Jersey beaches. I don't remember them ever saying that they were going to a beach nearby.
Because if you had a boat, you could be at the Jersey beaches in like 5 seconds from Staten Island.
Yeah.
5 seconds might be a little.
It's a fast boat, though.
I mean, I could have said a lot of time. I could have done a lot of time and been, fairly close enough to like, he's exaggerating, but just
I'm not really into boating, so I just believed you. It's like, man.
Really? You think that there's 5-second boats? That's a Star Trek boat. Beto, you going to the big Star Wars, the Rogue One that everybody's talking about?
Yeah, I'm going to see it. I'm just not going to do another 6 a.m. I'm only doing the 6 a.m. shows for the main movies.
So this is a side project?
The fact that you live by something.
Wait.
Well, this is a one-off. Here's what they're going to do. It's going to be a Star Wars movie every year.
Right.
Every other year will be part of the saga that Lucas started. And then in between one-offs, there'll be like a young Han Solo year.
That's next year. Or year after next.
And who else? Somebody
Boba
else.
Fett.
A young Boba Fett,
Young
really?
Boba Fett. I don't know.
Really?
And
Not Chewie.
And a young. That's sad.
Oh, that'd be so cute, baby Chewie.
The puppy. Now the white supremacists are mad because it's become too many nationalities, and they believe that the Star Wars universe is white.
Well, they liked the what was like episode 1 called?
Phantom Menace.
They liked that one because it's just like the racial stereotypes. Oh, Chancellor.
Yeah. And then the money changers.
So bad.
Lucas.
No.
He's like, oh, what are you gonna do? It's so terrible.
Lucas
bad.
He's a West Coast white guy, so anything that he's ever learned about ethnic groups is just from old movies.
All right.
And then what was the one character who was just like the minstrel show?
Well,
Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah, Jar Jar
Binks was like Jamaican.
Right.
Yeah. And there was even a scene that he was just drinking a red stripe. For no apparent reason.
Hooray, beer.
And a big fatty in the other arm.
They do love their weed, but let me tell you this about Jamaicans, and I don't want to start an international incident, but their weed is weak as shit.
Awful.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
They don't
garbage weed.
That's
you
why
serious?
they smoke so much. It's like they never caught on with hydroponics. You know what I mean? They're still finding wild plants and grinding them up.
Seeds all up in it. It's just terrible.
That surprises me. I had no idea.
No, one time it was considered good weed because all weed was bad. But they did not move ahead with the hydroponics and everything that made weed in the different strains.
Right.
It's just some weed growing next to a fucking shotgun shack down there in fucking Kingston. They go out in their backyard and get. But that's why they smoke those big giant fucking joints.
Right.
Because it's fucking headache.
Because really, they're just like smokers then.
Yeah.
It's just like.
I mean, this is fucking
like,
dirt weed that they got going. And I hate to hurt their feelings.
They know, though. I mean, it's barely
I don't
green.
think they know. They're so proud of their weed.
They shouldn't be. Because American weed and Canadian weed's fucking ridiculously good. Like, it's just, all we care about is weed science.
It is the science. That's what's changed. And they're still natural.
They have no infrastructure. They got no labs down there.
Then it makes sense that they're smoking weed like cigarettes. Like, you're just like, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to, like, smoke a joint. It's the same as probably.
They smoke joints the size of your arm down there. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Giant fucking spliffs.
And then that whole fucking, just having one fucking beat and staying with it, no matter what song it is.
It's a really good song.
Is this rock?
It's just the one.
Ba-dum, ba-dum. Bum, bum, yeah.
All the same.
Our weed. Our weed's not very good. What does that mean?
I believe Boombaclot is, I think it's like,
what's on fucking Vito's elbow right now?
Oh, God. Get this loche.
By the way, guess who? Do you want the loche?
Send someone in for the loche, because I can't see it. He keeps looking at it, even when he can't touch it.
Loche that shit up.
I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see anybody coming through but Jen today. But let me tell you something else. Did you guys know that Buffett did a show here in our lobby over the weekend?
No, I didn't.
You don't follow Snapchat then?
No.
He did a... John, have a seat over here for a second. By the way, I'm going to quote an old friend of mine and say, those are not pants. I don't know what it is that you're wearing.
Leggings?
Yeah, those... They seem like they should be under something.
Under?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my shirt I thought was longer. I have a sweater on, but it was so hot in there.
Why is it hot in there?
It's just a lot of people. It's like...
There's only one guy in there.
Vito.
Vito.
A lot of people.
A lot of person is what you meant to say.
I fog up a lot of cab windows.
I'm not fucking saying that you're big, but you showed up on my waves today as I was coming in here. So he's heating up the room.
Not just Vito. Not just Vito.
Jen's sister turned 21 over the weekend.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. They
Vito class.
like a seal, like a baby seal.
Now, I understand that Jen has a crazy story from this weekend that I haven't heard yet. But Vito told me there's kind of a crazy story. And I don't know if we should do a 20 questions involving it or if she should just tell it. Because, Vito, you would know better if it's a good 20 questions kind of story.
Well, somebody, a certain person hit on Jen this weekend and tried to get them digits.
Famous person?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go first. Would this be somebody from the world of music?
No.
Are they an actor?
No.
No.
Comedian.
No.
Sports.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Nope.
Baseball.
No.
Football.
Yeah.
Okay, famous football player.
I have a guess.
Wait. Why is that your turn? That's not how it works.
Yes.
Is this person a quarterback?
Yes.
With the Jets?
No.
I was going to guess Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor? What year do you think she got hit on? Lawrence Taylor.
Are they with the Giants?
Giants? No.
Are they still playing?
Who else was in town this weekend?
I don't think so.
No.
All right, retired.
No.
No.
Pay?
Oh.
So is this a retired person?
It's not a retired person. It's somebody that's not playing it right now.
Is it Johnny Football?
Yeah.
Jenny Football.
No, why didn't you give up digits?
Did you give the digits?
I didn't give the digits.
Oh my
digits?
God.
I would have gave Johnny Football.
Now, what was the circumstance?
I didn't know it was Johnny Football until like after, when my friends were like, "Do you know who you were talking to?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, it was Johnny Manziel." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't."
What club was this at?
One Oak.
Okay. Now, I saw her snap over the weekend. She gave me her snap.
Yeah.
You see this scarf?
Yeah.
Much larger than the dress that she had. Much larger.
It was my sister's because I had nothing else to wear. It was like a tuxedo-ish sort of.
It might have been it would have been your 3-year-old sister. Because
Jen, come on.
I wanted to get her a pair of suspenders for the top. I don't know how it was staying on her. Jen's very different in her social life than she is.
Interesting.
There was a man feeding her champagne.
No, that was my sister. All of those.
I can't tell you apart.
So you think that all of that was me on my snap?
Both
that was my
you and your sister were together.
In one picture, yeah, but everything else was my sister. Everyone always kept writing me like, "Is that you?" I was like, "No, it's my sister."
And your sister
You guys
share
are-
a face.
You guys are identical.
How much older are you than her?
I'm 24. She's 21. Yeah. Oh, that was Jessica, not me. So I'm not as bad.
You're the one who said you're keeping an eye on your sister.
I was keeping an eye, but she's 21. She had to get the full throttle experience.
She got it.
You're keeping an eye on Johnny
She
Football.
got it. So Johnny Football approaches you.
Well, yeah, we were like in his VIP, me and my friends. And then all of a sudden someone kept tapping me from behind and I turn around and it's him and he like pulls my hand over. He's like, "What's your name?" I said, "Jen." I was like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Johnny." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And he's like, "Treat yourself to anything on, the table." I was like,
First of all, let me just say the class of Mr. Johnny Football. Treat yourself. What was on the table? Shrimp?
It was like,
Some potato skins. All this could be yours. Oh my God, that is very, that's classy. It's a classy thing to say.
So was it food? Was it alcohol?
alcohol, yeah, I guess. It was like 2 bottles of champagne.
Does he understand that his money's running out, that he's not playing?
I don't know where it's coming from because he's doing nothing but partying.
He said over a year ago he was quitting alcohol to go back to the NFL, and he hasn't.
He went back to school, though.
And yes, to do what?
To finish his degree, like in something, I think sports history possibly was his.
He's sports history, that's the problem.
And now he's just showing up at like parties all over the country. Like Art Basel, he was at just getting hammered. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, we have somebody who talked to him, so shut up. So you're allowed to help yourself to what was ever on the table.
Yeah.
And then how did he end up asking for your number?
He didn't ask for my number. He just asked for my name, and then that was pretty much it. He didn't ask for my number. He just said
Vito, that's what started this.
I thought you said he was trying to get with you.
I'm sure he was trying to
Yeah,
get
of course.
with
Yeah, but that was like the last. And then a girl came at the end of the night, like at
bet
4
she did.
o'clock, and then
She was loving everything on the table.
And then did she leave with Mr. Manziel?
she left. Yeah.
Yeah. How'd she look?
Dark hair, cute, small, petite girl. I think they knew each other from before. I think she came in at 4 o'clock, when the club was closing.
She was in the old Cleveland Browns. The Browns going for the defeated season this year, which is just as exciting as an undefeated season, in my opinion. I mean, you're running the table.
It seems like it's harder than it should be.
Harder than it should be. You could have not shown up this season, and everybody's record would still be exactly the same. That's kind of phenomenal. Like, if you're like, I'm not going to come to any games, everybody's record would still be the same as it is now. The one team I think they could possibly beat is Buffalo, and I'm not even saying it.
No, Buffalo's going to beat them. There's no way they don't fucking go 0-16. They got the Chargers next week, I think, and they're definitely going to lose to the Chargers.
The Chargers are the one team that actually could thread that game.
It would be amazing. Like, I would hate my
Chargers beat teams they shouldn't beat and lose to teams they should beat.
They play at the level of wherever they're at. So if they're playing great, they're great. If they're playing shit, they're shit. I was thinking before, surely it was going to be a New York Knick You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking retired or out of the game guy. I was thinking local.
Before he said QB, I thought maybe Odell Beckham Jr. because he goes out and parties. He just won this weekend. I feel like that would have been it.
He was a little busy last night.
Yeah, this was a Saturday night. So those guys are normally during the week party guys.
I feel like Odell goes out on Saturdays too.
You could feel it, but it doesn't happen. He has a contract.
It was a late game.
Yeah. Did you watch the game last night?
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, sure, 7 turnovers, but at least the Cowboys lost.
Well, we all hate the Cowboys, I think. I think we can agree with that in Trump America.
Yes.
The Cowboys are, I don't know where to even put them. I'm not going to say Nazis because that's a little too far.
Evil Empire?
Yes, okay. It's something that we could all agree is a terrible thing that exists. That it just exists.
And run by awful people like Jerry Jones.
Yes,
like
of
just
course.
a garbage man.
Well, he's not a garbage man. He's another stereotype of what you think of rich people. You know what I mean? Just, I want that, and I'm taking that, and I'm going to be very loud about it.
And nonsensical, too, like calling Dak Prescott daddy all the time, which is just creepy.
And then not saying that he even wants him to finish the season.
Yeah. He says, yeah, Romo's going to be, he said, you see that? He said, like, Romo's going to be part of our winning.
He goes, can you imagine Romo coming in and winning? What could be better than that? And Daddy's going, wait, what?
I thought I was the daddy.
Are they your least favorite team of all time?
Well, they're the team that I enjoy rooting against the most. And you don't want them to be too bad. Like, you want them to get to the end of the season and then have something horrible happen. Like, when they have, like, a 3-13, you're like, well, what's the whole point? You know? That would be like seeing Hitler with 18 people at his rally. You know? I thought the tickets would have sold better.
This is nothing.
You think Hitler ever did that? Like, he just said to his assistant, how's the house look out there? Is it full? Everybody here?
That's like early on.
Great. They're trickling in.
You never see any of that. You never see Hitler working a club. He's just massive
You think
amounts.
he had an assistant early on?
Yeah.
He wasn't just going off on his own?
I don't see him bringing a speaker in. Trust me, we're going to draw.
Wasn't his own roadie.
What's the cross-dressing comedian that's the funniest person in the world?
Eddie Izzard?
All right, Eddie Izzard said this thing of, like, at those rallies, and you'd see all those people, and they're standing still. He's like, didn't any of them ever have to take a piss? You just never see someone who would hold this.
Oh, excuse me. Just like the line breaking and one person just scoots down. Excuse me, sorry. God,
I didn't
had
know,
a lot of coffee, so.
Been really having a lot of juice lately. I don't know what it is.
This was happening to me.
But I'm sure, now after thinking that, I'm sure if you were a Nazi, you just piss down your leg.
Oh, yeah, because
You're just
of
like,
fear.
I'm just going to piss myself.
You're not going to be the one person to fall out of line.
I did that before the Springsteen show, too. So I don't want to miss anything. I don't know when Rosalita's going to pop up.
You can't miss it.
You didn't wear Depends to the show?
No, I really don't have the pant room for that. I don't know.
Not your show pants.
I guess you'd have to do just straight sweats or whatever Jen is wearing today. Do you consider that what she's wearing to be a pant?
I don't, and yet I do the same thing.
You do the same thing.
I do the same thing.
But like, if you come in pajamas, it would be the same.
Sure,
it'd be the same.
Well,
outfit.
I try to keep my work clothes as close to my sleep clothes as possible.
Is that right?
Particularly in the winter when I'm trying to stay warm.
Yeah, I think in the winter, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Completely, like, whatever you want to wear, it's up to you.
They're a mockery of pants, Ron. What if I started walking around here every day in long johns?
I saw you in sweats, though, plenty of days. And I don't mind when you do that, but when you and Vito are both in sweats, I'm like, this team doesn't care.
We need to get serious.
XM. It's just that at a certain point, there is a matter of, I don't think I can win when you start to wear sweatpants. Like, I don't think of myself as a winner.
My own comfort's the only thing that matters anymore. The outside world shit.
I feel like I'm able to concentrate better. Like, If you're just like, if you're in comfy pants, you're just like, now I know I don't have to worry about the whole pants thing. So that's out of the way.
Rich in Ohio knows what Johnny Football was doing here. Rich.
Hello, Ron.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, I heard on the news this morning, I don't remember what sports show it was, that Johnny Manziel was part of the Heisman Trophy presentation, that he gets invited to that every year now since he won it.
Oh, when you win it, you're able to go back and there's a thing. And then he went out for SantaCon for the next 11 hours.
Obviously.
Just drunk, like, yeah.
Dressed as Santa.
Help yourself to anything that's on the table. Yeah, I forgot about that. When you're a Heisman winner, you're invited back for the ceremony. And there's it's like a party weekend.
Nice.
And they pay for it. Did you see the convicts versus Catholics thing?
I didn't see it, no.
That our buddy Jerry Barker was part of. He made the film. It was a 30 for 30. But then he put himself in the film also as an expert because he wrote a book about that season. And he looked fantastic.
Nice.
It was all the stars and Jerry Barker. And I was like, well, this was a Jeffrey Gurian thing to do. By the way, Jeffrey Gurian, first time in his life, wrote a bad review.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
A total attack on Gerard Carmichael, who I think is one of the funniest kids out there today.
Interesting.
Went to his HBO special, did not think Gerard was up to snuff.
Holy shit.
Wow.
This has never happened.
It's never happened.
He's a very supportive guy.
It's like it's impossible. I don't even fucking realize this is happening right now.
I don't know why you're saying things like that. I don't know why your attempt to jump into the conversation sounds so false. Like a third grader wrote a script for you.
No.
I don't even know what's happening right now.
Because I've never heard him badmouth anyone in, 4 years or whatever that we've known him. The man loves everybody.
Just relax, dude. Just chill. See, instead of what you're normally doing when you're tapping away, you could be calling him right now. That would make sense, right?
Yes, it would.
Instead of this thing that you're yelling out. What is going on right now? He thought that Gerard just didn't care.
So he thought it was just a too casual, not prepped enough.
Too casual, doesn't have any material, repeated material, he said. It's all up on the Interbank today. But he came in and did our show before, and he was hysterical.
Great. He was so funny and just like a really...
And his show's funny. He's got some show, I think it's just called Carmichael, right?
The Carmichael Show.
The Carmichael Show.
Yeah.
But did not expect Jeffrey to... drop what he's now calling the hammer.
Wow. This could be a whole new thing for Jeffrey.
I don't know. If somebody gives him a goddamn potato skin, he's fucking happy for the rest of the night.
He would love Johnny Football.
Johnny Manziel.
He would love him.
Well, he's one of two people that would love him. Did you brush up against him?
He's really good looking. He's so hot.
I think, what?
I think he's so cute.
That's what happens when you have a table full of booze.
Yeah. A belly
Suddenly you're
full
like...
of booze. I mean, let's take a look at him.
He had tattoos all over his arm.
That
Bad
is
boy look.
pretty.
Like, this fucking guy?
First of all, yeah, that is not.
Oh, yeah, that's the shot.
That's not-
And by the way, everyone on the planet has tattoos all over their arms. Now, you see when he goes like that?
Yeah.
That's him holding his penis. That's what I'm holding two little pieces. And what is that thing that he's wearing on his head? Like, is he dealing?
He's like,
is he
yeah.
fucking dealing in Vegas?
He's just going like this.
And he's like, it's like this. And that's my career. I was here for 15 games. Goodbye.
He's just a douche.
Well, he sounds like a perfect gentleman.
Yeah, he is. But so you were digging on him.
Yeah, definitely. That's why my friend kind of like looked at me like, oh, he's your type. And then...
What is that, alcoholic?
He didn't seem drunk. I mean, he was dancing and stuff, but it wasn't like he was out of control.
Was he a good dancer?
He was. I like the way he did.
I highly doubt it.
I want to see this.
I've seen him dancing before. He looks like a nut. Oh, you're going to look him up dancing?
I'll see if I can find him dancing on YouTube.
I can't believe he hasn't been on Dancing with the Stars yet.
Oh yeah, he seems like he would be perfect for that show.
Maybe he's not a big enough star.
Probably too much of like a loose cannon. He might show
This
up
is,
drunk.
I'm looking at CNN, 6 months since the anniversary of the massacre. I don't know if that's an anniversary we should be celebrating.
Yeah.
Just doesn't seem like that's one that every 6 months we got to drop in on. You were in Orlando then, I guess, right, Jen?
No, I just left right
You
before.
just left, yeah. Did you know this club?
Yeah.
It
I
looks
lived around there.
that it physically looks like every bar in
Yeah.
Central Florida. They all have that same setup. But you lived right in that area?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever go to gay?
It's like by downtown Orlando.
Do you ever go to gay bars?
My friend, one of my best friends, gay, so yeah. But I've never
Johnny
been there
Manziel?
before.
There's no reason to say that. You know what? We should be past the point where that's the
No
punchline.
disclaimer here?
I found Johnny Manziel dancing.
Okay, good.
Is it
Let's see how he
this
does.
fucking.
This is on the Money Manziel yacht.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Oh, yeah. Now you know why he's not on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. This is called Do the White Dad.
This makes you want to enjoy anything from the table.
There's salt, pepper. Help yourself.
Is that a bar napkin?
And by the way,
Look.
what he's wearing is not pants either.
Now,
This is way closer. This would have really fit in with that Jimmy Buffett show that was here over the weekend.
Now you see him dancing on that boat. That could be Jen standing right next to him dancing.
Well, when he rents it, because it ain't his. Oh my God, Jen.
Jesus, Jen.
Jen, have you ever dated a famous person?
Yeah. Basketball player.
Orlando Magic player?
Yeah.
There's no way we'd know him then.
He was he was a rookie at the time.
Yeah. How tall?
Tall. Like 6'7"?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, 6'7".
6'7's a guard these days too. That's how tall that league is.
Gigantic.
Yeah, when like you see a guy that's 6'5" on, you're watching a basketball game, you're like, the little guy's open. Go ahead. I'm serious. People that you would think would tower over you
Right.
look small on a basketball court because there's people 7 foot there.
It's freakish.
Yeah, you don't run into a 7 foot person in your life, really.
Like, I just point and stare if I saw someone who's 7 feet tall.
That's really bad, though.
But I mean, 7 foot, Ron. It's gigantic.
No.
They couldn't get through the door.
But
Like,
don't
what the fuck?
point.
It's frightening. I was at a meeting with NBA players once, and everyone was 6'8" or higher.
Yes.
I just felt like I was a little kid.
Shaq came
grade
in
school.
here one time and hit his head on those lights there.
Cracked
Which,
I can't hit if I
God.
jump.
yes, if you got a running jump, you might be able to just brush the bottom of it. And he hit his head hard, like he was like down and like, oh, fuck. And you just want to say, does that happen to you all the time, no matter where you
It
are?
has to.
Or like you ever see when someone that height gets on the subway and then they have to duck super low to get under
Yeah.
They
the
got to be
door?
claustrophobic all the
And
time.
then you know how it like the top of the train kind of curves. So if they're not standing dead in the middle, they're kind of like
Heads to the left.
they have to like kind of like lean their head because they can't get a.
Yeah,
Oh,
lean back. Lean back.
Lean back.
Love
He's
that.
old school hip hop. We didn't know to that.
Love it.
Jen is all new school hip
I
hop.
don't know shit about new school hip hop. What's something called trap music? I don't know.
I just know Open Mike Eagle and no one else.
Well, that's the best one. So.
But this is the funny thing. So Shaq was out with a tour of comedians that he was taking on the road, and Shaq said, I've always been like a class clown. I just like to stand out. I'm like, what? Everything about you stands out. You don't like to be like, who was that silly guy the other night? What was his name?
Interesting.
Or somebody describe him. He was the funny guy.
He was really funny.
Oh, and he was 7'4" and had a foot the size of a Volkswagen. I remember when Shaq came out with his shoe, they used to put out in every store a Shaq shoe, and they were enormous. And then also you're like, oh, I didn't realize they were so wide. Like your foot, if you put your foot, would that be as
Right.
wide as his foot is? I like to stand out in the crowd a little bit,
Sure.
Get a little silly. Next week starts vacation week, but we're going to have all new material. Well, not all of it's going to be new, but every day there'll be new material for the year-end wrap-up. And last night I was watching our friend TJ Miller on that Critics' Choice Award show, acting the fool. I mean, just went straight fucking gonzo, screaming for 2 hours. There's Tom Hanks! And I was just fucking laughing so hard. I mean, you don't see a guy who's hosting a show on, like, in a tux and is also sweating. It's like sweating his ass off.
Working hard.
Yeah. It was very funny. So I take it nobody saw that. You were watching it.
I didn't see it, no.
I get, after fucking 12 hours of football, I can barely watch another game. That Sunday night game.
I just wanted to watch the Cowboys lose. And I knew it was going to happen.
You knew they were going to lose.
I called it on Periscope right before. Take the Giants +4. Guess what happened? They cover. And they win. Fuck you, cow cucks.
What?
First of all, should we Trump cucks if you're trying to brand something?
Trump cucks.
Rich, I think you understand this from the world of finance. If you're going to invest in something, you want to make sure that you can understand what the product is. And Trump cuck, we can't.
It would be a good idea.
Trump cuck, we have
Would
no
have
idea.
some clue.
Yes.
Although I will lie, I was standing out front with Chris today, and a Trump cuck supporter screamed out for him, and I was like, the people are out there.
Yeah.
They love it.
I heard in the distance, Trump cuck! It's like, where's that coming from?
That was Ronnie.
No, it was...
That's because my phone wasn't working.
Yelling out the cab window.
It was a young man with his daughter, Trump cucking it up.
Oh. That really
Yeah,
sounds
you didn't
bad.
really need to add that part.
That sounds kind of disgusting.
No, it's wholesome.
Gail is putting out her Gail Meets Girls, and this is a controversial one.
Yes.
I want to pull a clip that we'll play on Wednesday.
That would be great. Yeah, this is it's a very heated and very funny, incredibly funny episode. It's going to be released this week, so we will announce what day. But I'm very excited to share this one.
I'm just, I'm going to do an impression when my jaw was dropped listening. Because basically one of the ladies was like, fuck you. And it went on like that.
Yeah, it was very angry, but incredibly funny.
Well, your initial premise is that women talk differently to each other when men aren't around,
Yeah,
right?
I think women are also funny in a different way than they are when they know men are listening.
And I was thinking, if I was on this show, I would have stopped the momentum 12 times because I would have asked them to explain themselves. Yet all the women in the room got that kind of anger and hilarity and silliness.
Yeah, it tends to get pretty silly. And yeah, it's a different type of humor, I think, when women are just around women.
Now, do women talk that freely sexually when it's just women around each other?
Yeah, women talk much more freely because you don't have the male gaze or the male ear, which is when you're talking about sex and then you're like, well, this is being perceived by a man. So am I being too descriptive, or am I saying something that's not sexy about sex and that makes me look a certain way?
Right.
But you don't have any of those insecurities. You can just joke about it and be funny.
Jen, did you expect the conversation to go?
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, me neither. And I thought when you had basic premise like, oh, this is a funny idea, but I thought it was going to be much different.
Right.
But it was very funny. And Chris, you said you learned a lot about it, but I will say this. As I'm listening, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably the kind of dude that they're talking about right now. A couple of times.
Bad about this.
Yeah. That's why I know that somebody is clueless when they say stuff like, I'm a good dad. You know what I mean? Because that's about first of all, it's the one thing that you can't vote for yourself on. You know what I mean? It's like saying, I'm a very handsome guy, and I'll tell you why. You know what I mean? But in the thing, when you hear about the way women talk about some men, and you're like, yeah, shit. That's me.
You're like, at first you're like, oh, I would never do. Okay, I've done that.
Yeah,
that's
I've done
something
that.
I have done.
And like sometimes I'm like, well, is it really a big deal? when you act like that? Isn't it expected?
You know what's going to happen.
Oh, no.
Well, you said you were a bad boyfriend, and that's why she left you.
Yeah, I'm just a bad boyfriend. Neglectful, drunk, booze hound, selfish. All the above.
Abusive?
No, not abusive.
Now, what do you do when you're all those things and then someone doesn't leave you? Does that mean that you're better or worse than you think? You know what I mean? Like, you feel like, oh, I've done things, no wonder I got left. But what if you do the same things and then no one leaves you?
I think that's the difference of just like a regular person and maybe like a saint.
Might be a saint. But it is very weird to hear women talk in such a way, and then you're like, oh, so that's bad. What they're saying is bad.
I didn't know it affected you so much.
But a very, very funny show. Very, very. Tell everybody who your guests are.
My guests are Lisa Traeger, who is incredibly funny, and Annie Letterman, who's also, she's having a great year, and she's going to be huge. She's crazy funny.
Really funny. And would have been considered outrageous on any other show.
Right.
And, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Lisa was.
Yeah, Lisa
really
took
outrageous.
the forefront, and we kind of just followed along with her energy, and it was a really, really funny conversation and intense and almost a little cathartic, I think, by the end of it.
Right. Really, really good stuff. All right, we need to break here, Chris.
Yes.
Paul Williams coming up in just a bit. Our co-host is Richard Lerner today. You having fun, Richard?
I am so far.
Can I tell you something?
Can't really help on The View or what women speaking show.
You don't know.
I'm amazed The View doesn't go that way too.
You know what? I was thinking the same thing. The View and the chat look like Children's Hour compared to, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
Children's Hour. And I think the TV cameras might change that.
Yeah. Again, you're going to have a different level of knowing that you're being viewed by people.
Viewed.
This is it's very raw and very funny.
I want to do a guy show.
Okay.
Where we talk badly about women and minorities. We're going to do Anthony? Is that it?
I have a great network for you.
I was on that network the other day, and they're very sweet people.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, of course it would be. Of course.
I remember I think it was you or your brother, the one who turned me on to Gavin McGinnis years ago.
Yeah.
And you said you got to see the funniest video you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, crazy funny video of him with his daughter that, like, to this
She was
day,
a newborn.
if I think about it,
The bit was this: he just had a daughter. I mean, really a baby, and he says the doctors are telling us that our baby can't walk, and it's just not something we believe. And they go, we'll just keep going. And he pushes. I mean, she's newborn, and he's pushing her out in a little tiny wheelchair. And the reason why she can't walk is because she's a baby. It's the only reason she can't walk.
and he's just like, they're telling us it could be like 1.5 to 2 years before she's even walking, and we just won't accept that. We know she can beat this.
Really, really funny stuff. And he's funny all the time.
Yeah.
Even when you don't agree. I don't know why you have to agree with everybody to find him funny.
No, that's it's very true. And he also did another video, I think, that I had sent you when she was a little older about like how to disarm someone.
Oh yeah.
And she plays like the criminal or burglar who's coming after him. It's very, very funny.
By the way, I had a dream last night that I was and this is really weird, a hitman. And I don't know why I was so comfortable with it, but every time I would go up and I kept trying to pull the trigger and the gun wasn't working right.
Shit.
I'm like, fuck, and then it would go off and I was like, oh God, thank God. It was really awful. And two of the people that I shot, I know well, and one of them, I put a pillow over their head because they weren't dying from the bullet.
Oh my God. So someone obviously you care about enough to...
Very much.
Ugh.
And I'm like, why am I, I woke up and I go, A, that's a nightmare. And B, aren't you supposed to be chased by a hitman in a dream?
Right.
Why wasn't I not even saying to myself, hey, I can't kill people? Didn't have a problem with it. My biggest problem was the gun kept jamming. Now, not only was
It's
the
a
gun,
bad
But
day
you
at
brought
work.
a pillow with you.
yeah. Well, the thing is, they were laying in bed. But they were both laying in bed together, and I shot them both. And when I'm like, and I could feel them moving under the pillow.
Oh,
and I'm
God,
like,
this is horrible.
and when I took the pillow off, like, nobody was mad at me.
There were other people there?
Huh?
There were other people there?
Gail was there, and people in my family were there.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
Gail's mom was in the stream, and Gail was saying, like, she was, like, giving me compliments, like, the way you work is so fast. She goes, I can't even keep up with it. And I don't know why it didn't bother me. But when the gun was jamming, I could feel this, like, energy between me and the other person, like, from the gun. The other person, like, fuck, why won't this work? Why won't this work? And then bam, oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, I hate these guns. I was like that. I woke up. I was very disturbed from it.
Yeah, that sounds horrifying.
Is it
Yeah.
a coincidence that we went from an all-women's cathartic show to you giving us all your dreams and becoming a psychiatrist?
You know what? I think
there
there
is.
maybe. I think there is a little bit. All right, we got a break. Paul Williams coming up in just a bit. Are we going to be talking about the greatest Christmas songs of all time?
Yeah, ASCAP's top holiday songs chart.
ASCAP is the thing that he writes.
Cap.
He's
Yeah.
the president of ASCAP.
I'd love to be that.
Sounds like Trump cock.
He really is kind of the Trump of the songwriting world. Right back, Bennington. Ride that level down, bro. Thank you. Gail Richard Lerner is sitting in with us today, and a new best friend.
Yeah, you are our new best friend. Luckily, he won the auction at CharityBuzz.com to benefit Why Hunger, and now he's hanging out with us.
Did they ever come up with an answer to that why hunger? I mean,
No, they didn't. No.
yeah, that's the thing. After all these years, we don't know why hunger. We still don't know.
I'm still confused. What hunger?
You know, it wasn't that long ago.
Third base.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this: hungry people used to be thin, but now they say obese kids are hungry.
Yeah, because they're not getting proper nutrients.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
I
So,
thought they were just always hungry.
yeah. Well,
Yes.
The problem is, especially if you're lower income, it's easier to feed your kids for $5 a bunch of junk food or fast food.
Dollar menu.
Dollar menu.
Right.
Mac and cheese.
And you can't, it's very hard to convince someone to not do that because you would like, would you rather your kid go to bed hungry or fill their bellies up and make them,
Or
with
you
something not nutrients.
We eat baked beans every day.
Baked beans is good for you, right?
Yeah.
rice and beans is a good, like, I
What
think
if
that's
we
the best.
start
But boy,
a
Chipotle.
yeah? We start a baked bean chain where you just go there and you get nothing but baked beans.
Beanzos?
I was thinking
You
beans
need
and beans.
really good ventilation.
Beanies.
Oh my God, Beaningtons.
Oh!
Got it.
Wouldn't you like a big old bowl of beans today?
Come on down to Beanington.
Beans, beans, beans. Don't even get me started on beans.
But not green beans.
No.
No.
Hell no.
No, that's
Green beans.
disgusting.
Ew.
Not at Beaningtons.
Bake them or nothing.
Bake them or nothing.
Yeah, I don't want anything but baked.
Black.
But you don't actually bake those beans yourself.
No, it's just,
You never put those beans in the oven. So who's baking?
I don't know. I just like the term baked beans.
I like bacon beans.
Nice.
More bacon,
Oh,
less beans.
We'll definitely have that at
If
Beanington.
you won't drop the Beaningtons, right? You love it so much.
I love it. I can't wait to go to Beanington's 2 times a day.
At the end of every commercial, there's just beans falling on the
Hashtag Beanington.
Richard was telling me that he did college radio.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I did.
awesome.
Yeah.
Which
No.
is why I'm here.
But you did a commercial station there.
Commercial station at my college, yeah.
What was the playlist like?
Top 40.
Top 40.
Top 40.
That's so unusual for a college.
I know. Well, we weren't really for the college. It was not a large area, and we were the number 2 station in the market.
That's so great,
That's
man.
really cool.
You
Very
know-
weird. You probably know it, but it
Yeah.
was weird for me walking into a McDonald's and having someone recognize my voice. And
Oh,
go, I
yeah?
listen to you.
Yeah, that's always the oddest thing when
Then they
someone
start
goes,
throwing food at you.
yeah, after a while, they're
Yes.
like, well, particularly top 40, because that is like people, a lot of them will listen in the background to top 40. They'll get a lot of A lot of people listen to Top 40. They just have it on, but they don't necessarily listen for the show. You know, they just have to have those songs on. And then they're like, oh, aren't you the guy who said that? No,
I hear you say things.
Yeah.
I know you're from somewhere.
You're famous in a car. You're very, very famous in a car.
More like a dentist's office.
Well, I had this idea years ago, and I tried to pitch it to CBS, and I wanted them to just try to start and build radio shows and to go to one market and just have it run by kids at different times. But then you move those kids out to larger markets once you felt, and it would be like a AAA team.
All right.
And everyone's like, yeah, but that would take like a year before we saw any payback on it. I'm like, yes.
That's the point.
But people would know how to do radio. They would get it. No matter, you would run the overnight show just like it was a morning show. Just the same rules all the time. And maybe that one station wouldn't make money, but you'd end up starting to have great things. And I think they didn't buy into it.
That sounds like an awesome idea.
It's always killed me because I think it would have been the idea that made me famous, that I would be remembered for. He was the guy who came up with AAA radio.
The Bennington guy? I love his restaurant.
Before he got into the bean business.
The beans are going to be. It's going to be the beans.
How you beans? At Bennington's.
Never been better.
There's one of my old interns there. Never even gives me hello now. Because he's running around doing things and he's very, very busy.
Oh, so busy.
Yeah.
Too busy. Just throw a, hey, what's up to you?
I wrote a letter for him. I literally wrote a letter.
Yeah. I mean, you know where we are.
Oh,
Noon to 3.
Did I lie in that letter for him, too? I will lie. Anybody who's ever interned for me, I'll lie to anybody for them.
I lied about popcorn once when someone asked me.
What'd you say?
I said,
Didn't like popcorn?
No. Wonderful, wonderful intern. Really on top of the stuff.
Who brought that up to you?
I got like an email I was put as a reference for our old intern Popcorn, who was the worst intern we've ever had.
You just said he was the worst popcorn we've ever had.
He was disgusting.
Well, one of our interns, and I'm not going to say which one, I said was with me when a murder took place.
Oh, my God.
I said, no, he was staying at my house that night.
I think that's illegal.
No, it's fine.
I don't think it's illegal to lie in court.
Yeah, but what if you're under oath?
Right on the Bible.
What does an oth really mean?
Sir,
anyway?
he's my intern.
I say I will swear on a Bible, but a King James Bible. That I don't believe in.
Because he gets all obsessed with witchcraft, and it's silly.
Yeah,
that was really
nuts.
the King James edition.
Yeah.
It's like they replaced anything that was like Satan or satanic. They just started throwing in like, and witches are bad.
And
and watch out for witches.
They hated witches over there. Despised them.
Why? What was the big beef with witches?
Well, it was women who healed and helped people give birth and, stuff like that.
And they burn well.
I just saw an article in Vice that said that we are changing our evolution by the amount of C-sections.
I saw that. Smaller hips.
Yeah, we're getting tinier little hips.
That's weird.
And I'm like, I don't know. I see some women. Hips don't lie. I mean, I don't remember asses like that when I was a little kid.
They did that study in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Tiny boy hips there. I do like a girl with little boy hips. That's exciting.
Do you?
To me.
So hot, right?
Yeah.
Do you like just extreme in either direction? Either tiny hips or then like very voluptuous hips?
Yeah, I got to have a freak. That's my thing. Right from Jump Street. I got to have somebody that's, weirding everybody out. We got Paul Williams stopping in here, and we're going to be discussing Christmas music with him. But I think this one goes all the way back to the beginning of when people started to write this kind of music. So we got Paul ready to come in?
Yes, we do.
It's ASCAP's annual list of top 30 holiday songs. At Twitter, I am just I and the letter M, Paul Williams. Let's bring him in. Paul Williams in studio with us, and we were just introducing you to Richard Lerner, who was the winner. But I did not know that this was Harry Chapin's
Boy Hunger, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic organization. Every year year round, they do great work making sure people that are getting fed, that can't afford to feed themselves at this moment. And Harry, during his lifetime, was immensely philanthropic and passionate. And he would stay after his concerts and talk to people about why hunger. So, I mean, it's fantastic.
Well, I think he used to do every other show as a charity. Like, he would do one for him and then the next show.
I didn't know that.
As a charity. I'd heard that before. But you knew Harry?
I did not know Harry. I think we met briefly. I think we were on, I don't think it was a Tonight Show. I think we did a PBS show or something together. It was like Billy Joel, myself, Harry, and but I could be wrong about that. Dude, there's a lot of Mayberville in my life,
I know. But I think I remember that because Billy was like the up and coming guy. You were the up and coming guy.
Yeah.
And Harry was all at the same time. And that was that singer-songwriter.
Exactly. And they were very flexible with the singer part with me, So, but yeah, we were, it was a really interesting time. It's, it's amazing. I'm now president of ASCAP. So one of the things that I'm looking at this year is all the holiday songs that have hung in there.
Yeah.
What's amazing is with the way that music is changing, the way the world is changing, in some ways for the worse, some for the better. Don't get me started there. But the fact that the top holiday songs for the last 50 years, 30 of them were written in the 30s and 40s.
Yes.
It's just a man. I may be off in those numbers, but there's something about that part. When we hit the holiday season, some part of our heart goes, I want those old emotions. I want, those feelings that are like mom running to me with wet hands and an apron,
Well, it's also interesting. A lot of those writers were Jewish. So.
Yeah, exactly. Irving Berlin.
Yeah. And then you also have the thing of it's a very northeast point of view, and people all around the country sing about snow and city,
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I remember living in Florida going, how weird that we listen to this music.
But what's really unfair is that somebody like myself who has elf in their DNA, somebody like myself who is essentially is like, it's like we shoot the Christmas movies in July, and in July I get out my pointy ears. I have my own pointy ears, I've never had a Christmas. I've written out a lot of Christmas music. I mean, I wrote the songs for Muppet Christmas Carol, Emmett Otter's Jugman Christmas. I produced a thing, an hour special with the Muppets called Letters to Santa. I didn't produce it. I'm lying. I co-wrote the story and I wrote the songs. Those projects hang in there. The night they saved Christmas, I acted in, and a bunch of those things. I've never had a song jump out and be a Christmas standard. And I'm 76. I hope I've got, how many years do I have left to have a shot to know that it's actually a standard,
But that's always kind of contract writing too. Like no one says off the top of their head somebody says, hey, you got something for a Christmas song, right?
There's they put out the call and, and there's certain songs that, you look at Santa Claus is Coming to Town is the most played, the most performed Christmas song in the last 50 years. It was written in 1934. This is a pain in the ass to somebody who's writing songs.
You've got
wait a minute, I just remembered I'm president of ASCAP. This is the joy of ASCAP's great music, But, and look at the people that recorded it. Bruce Springsteen recorded it, and all of a sudden it a huge new life again.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But that was even close to 40 years ago that he did that song.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was the 70s. So
and that is, that's ancient news.
Yeah.
I wrote some of that ancient news.
I think the only song that really became a classic instantly was All I Want for Christmas Is You in
the Mariah Carey?
Yeah. The last, 10, 15 years. And that's
a song, I think.
ASCAP
song?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking off my ASCAP hat now, and I'm going to get back to the full tilt, generous, and occasionally snarky Paul Williams.
My favorite song is on here. Let me see what year it was, too. God, 43. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Have Yourself a Merry Little would probably be, if it's not my top one, it's got to be one of them.
Yeah.
I also love I don't know who wrote it, but the Carpenters' Merry Christmas, Darling.
Oh, yeah,
really
that's
sweet.
A great one.
But Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is there's something about those songs that make me want to sound like Perry Como. I don't know. When I wrote the songs for Ishtar, I sat down with Dustin Hoffman and tried and Dustin was singing and he was singing sort of. And I said, oh, here's what I want you to listen to. And I made him listen to all these Perry Como records. Going, look at that. Sing like you're cutting hair. You know? Sing like you're cutting hair.
Let me tell you, the songs to Ishtar are the funniest thing that has ever been put out there. And it's amazing. The beginning of that when they're doing the songwriting part, and when you got it, you got it. And they're just going back and forth.
She said, come look, there's a wardrobe of love in my eyes. Take your time, look around, try to find something your size. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Well, what was the challenge was not just to, I mean, I can sit here and write bad songs, you know, you and that beret and a lion is eating, you know, the oldest song, according to Mel Brooks, is a lion is eating my foot off. Somebody call a cop. Because everybody, in those days, everybody screamed, you know. So screaming wouldn't get you any attention. But if you sang it, you know, a lion is eating.
It's a 2,000-year-old man.
On the 2,000-year-old man. One of my favorite bits ever.
Oh, yeah. It's just unbelievable.
But writing songs that were believably bad, you know, and getting them, you know, you're two mismatched writers. So you figure that every now and then they're going to have that feeling that they're onto something, and then they screw it up. Yeah. Telling the truth can be dangerous business. Honest and popular don't go hand in hand. Hell, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
If you admit that you can play the accordion, no one will hire you in a rock and roll band. It's just they just took it off, you know, where people could relate to it. And incidentally, that shows you how things change when times pass. Because the fact is, if you're playing an accordion, you can be a big part of a rock and roll band these days.
But Gail, you grew up on that album, on that movie too,
and we loved that music and that song specifically. I feel like we were always singing that song.
Dangerous Business.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. You know, we recorded a great full rock and roll version of that of all the songs, and originally the end of the picture was the songs, you know, being played from their greatest hits album, which we had great players and all, and great tracks, and put Warren and Dustin on them singing. And then when the first reviews came in, and the reviews were they didn't review the film, they reviewed the shooting schedule. And when the reviews came in, Warren went about releasing the album.
He was just like, we're going to jettison this thing and move on.
But if we could get them to, you know, and I would still love to see it come out someday.
You know, you being a songwriter, when you look at songs like this that have lasted, you know, this many years, is there a jealousy? Is there a pride? How do you feel about other songwriters?
Is there a jealousy? No, you know what? It's like, because I'm a songwriter. I'm an American songwriter. That's the absolute headwaters of who I am and what I do, you know. But that comes from loving great songs. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm at ASCAP. I joined ASCAP in 1972 because Sammy Kahn told me to. And if Sammy Kahn told me I should only wear green when I write because the songs will be better, I would still be wearing green. Burke and Van Heusen, Sammy Kahn, the writers that blew me away were great ASCAP writers. You know, were George and Ira Gershwin were. So the Great American Songbook, when I was 9 years old, I was singing, you know, I didn't discover rock and roll until the Beatles. The Beatles sent me back to discover Chuck Berry and all that. Because when I was in high school, I was listening to Gordon Jenkins' Manhattan Towers album and Sinatra, listening to, you know, so I was probably in my late 20s when all of a sudden I discovered rock and roll. The best band I've still ever seen in my life was the original Delaney and Bonnie and Friends. That band became the Joe Cocker Mad Dogs and Englishmen band. So I have this kind of warped entrance into music through the Great American Songbook, you know, which is, of course, ASCAP's great music. You know, BMI came along a little later and contributed equally to the. So grateful to Sirius because of the immense amount of music that you guys play here and all. Yeah. And I also get to come and talk to my friends.
That's nice, you.
Thank you, man.
But, you know, Gail and I have been playing this game about the perfect song. Is there a perfect song for you? Is there a song that you just can listen to and say that?
My two favorite songs, which say I think a lot about my taste, are "Someone to Watch Over Me"
Beautiful
and
song.
"Vincent."
Yeah.
There's something about the lyric to Vincent which takes me to a place of such intense melancholy, and it actually allows me to almost appreciate or have a sense of time passing and things changing for the better or for the worse. You know,
Vincent the Don McLean song?
Vincent is about Vincent Van Gogh, and his brother Theo leaned into him when he was dying and said, "Vincent, you sold a painting," you know. And he had no idea of the immense contribution that he made and all of it. So that's kind of the width and all. My favorite song that I ever wrote, I think the best song I ever wrote, it's funny because I was talking to Steve Tyrell about it this morning, is a song that nobody ever recorded but me, I don't think. Maybe a couple recordings. A song called Waking Up Alone, which you don't know.
No, I don't know.
But I'll tell you why. Okay, so I took my chances on a one-way ticket home, growing tired of strangers and the kind of life I'd known. Thought the time for settling down had come at last. Guess I hope to find a future in my past. Walk with me, darling, where the wheat fields used to be. I will tell you stories of my times across the sea. You're the legendary girl I left behind. Can't begin to count the times you crossed my mind. And oh, your children, why, the youngest looks just like you. I mean, I won't do the whole song, but that's what I love about the song. In the first line of the bridge, you know he's too late. Oh, your children, why, the youngest looks just like you. She's a picture of her mother, but there'll never be another quite like you. It's probably structurally the song. I don't know if it's the best song, but structurally, I think it says a lot about how to write a song, how to let in each verse to expose something new about. The third verse is, I should have noticed that the years were slipping by. Still, you're just as lovely as the day we said goodbye, like an old familiar poem that still won't rhyme. I could get back to the place, but not the time, which is what the song's about. So that's probably my favorite, and as I say, it's a well-structured song that just never really had a life. On the other hand, the Love Boat is being played every day if you walk by Barney's right now. If you walk by Barney's right now, it's blasting out on the street. It's in their windows. The Love Boat, which Charlie Fox and I wrote reluctantly, and it was on first run 11 years. That's art.
But you like a little heartbreak in your song. You like a little regret in your tones.
A little what?
A little regret, a little heartbreak.
Yeah, a little melancholy. I'm a, hardcore codependent. I wrote codependent anthems for years. And I won't last today without you is not a healthy thought. I know that. I get that. I've done some therapy, But I think, most of my songs have a place somewhere in the song where they get positive. The other thing I'm so grateful for the people that are recording my songs. And you listen to somebody like Karen sing Rainy Days and Mondays. And that's really, like talking to myself and feeling old. That's a downer lyric up till you hit that bridge. Then funny, but it seems I always wind up here with you. Because Roger Nichols wrote that music. I wrote the bridge, the verses, and I went, all I've done is depress myself. Wait, what I've got they used to call the blues. What am I going to do to get? And then all of a sudden I got the idea for the bridge. Funny, but it seems I always wind up here with you. And it became a positive song there, So, there's always that little bit of melancholy, I think, and all.
God, it's still the most magical thing to me in songwriting. Out of all the arts, the fact that a song will appear, sometimes it comes fast, sometimes it's a grind, but
when I do perform, I always say, I'll bring the songs, you bring the memories, because it's and people come up, and the best part of being a songwriter is I think for a lot of us in the later years, and I've been so blessed to still, every now and then I write something that clicks with the world and all. This whole Daft Punk thing was a great surprise and all. But to have somebody come up with to me and say, you know what, my mother was a single mother, and You and Me Against the World was an important song to us. That's a heart payment.
Yeah,
that's a heart payment. And so there is an asset. There is a harmonic benefit to these songs that people relate to. That is not about cash. Is about getting through something and finding a song that means something to you and all. And the greatest honor I've ever been given is to try to make sure that the kids that are beginning to write these days can make enough of a fair living, get the fair value for their songs, so they can write a second and a third and a fourth, and they can do it for a living and not a hobby.
Sure.
And it's, we don't want the music to stop anywhere. We don't want anyone to not be playing the music. We don't want anybody that goes, well, they're trying to control the internet. No. I'm thrilled that Pandora is playing our songs. I'm thrilled that Sirius, you guys are our heroes. But we've had to fight the world of streaming to get a fair compensation. And, and I think that we have right on our side.
Well, I also think, like you brought up, that you want to do this. These songs, the American Songbook, too. New York City without Gershwin, it's a different place, right? And how long has Gershwin been gone? And yet that is New York City.
Exactly, yeah. And Ira Gershwin's lyrics, what talk about your regrets? He was alive when I started writing. Mm-hmm. And if I could go back and do something over, I'd go back and go, get that phone number if you can and call that man and say, or his office, whatever, and say, could I have lunch with Mr. Gershwin, what a thrill that would have been. I wish I had done it. I was friends with Sammy Kahn.
That's phenomenal, right?
Oh, it's amazing, And it's funny because Sammy, I went to a party at Sammy's house, the first big party that I went to. I had to borrow a car because I took Connie Stevens to the party. Wow. I was so nervous because I wasn't dating anybody famous ever in my life. All of a sudden I'm going to this dinner. Well, I don't know if it was a date. I just met her and she was nice. So I borrowed a car and I took Connie Stevens to this party at Sammy's house, and there was Tony Bennett. And there was, it was just this A-list crowd and everything like that. I have never felt more like trailer trash in my life.
Yes.
It's just amazing. But now, it's funny because I'll run into Tony Bennett at this point and, and he just turned 90, right?
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I don't know what to say to him. I'm such a big fan. The best part of what I do for a living, I'd be willing to bet one of the best parts of what you do for a living is we don't have to give up our fan card to do it.
No, you're correct. And any one of those stories would be a story that you could have told for the rest of your life, but your life has been so rich that there's all these kinds of things happening back and forth.
It's been spectacular. Thank you.
And at the same time, and I brought this up before, I still hear from people that you've helped along the way, and you are so well thought of.
Well, I'm 26 years sober.
Yeah.
So as I said, there's a lot of Mayberville in my life and all. But when you medicate, and I think the drinking and the drug use was all about feeling like I deserve whatever, like that, trying to connect with and maybe kind of medicating that fear-based thinking that is like, wow, do you really belong here or whatever. Once I stopped doing that, I got what I call my sobriety is my rainbow connection. That's my rainbow connection, because when I quit drinking, when I was honest and to turn on another human being and saying, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm dying, I really need some help. When that happened for me, I got a connection to the world around me that I'd never experienced before. And I stopped chasing anything. I don't chase anything. All I wanted to do was work around recovery. I felt very disconnected to the music. Never chased it. They asked me to write the songs for the Muppet Christmas Carol. I wrote the songs for the Muppet Christmas Carol. Went back to working in recovery. They asked me to write something else. I could do it and whatever. And then eventually I fell in love with music again. But I haven't chased anything. I live my life in gratitude and trust. I'm grateful for the moment I have right now. I trust that I'm going to have every day of my life and all. And as long as I stay grateful, as long as I try to stay in love and service, everything gets better. Everything gets better.
I always think to myself, imagine somebody at the lowest point of their life, feeling like they're nothing, and then they have Paul Williams to talk to about it, like truly one of the great American artists. And Paul will just go, well, here's my card. If you're in trouble, give me a call. I mean, that's mind-blowing.
It hits really close to home for me because I actually last week lost a friend to depression.
Yeah.
Twice before he'd been pulled out by exactly what you're talking about.
Well, addiction is there's a tsunami of addiction in this country and all, and it's like it's interesting because we get to keep the miracle by giving it away. That's the deal, And I met my wife again. No is always a gift, whatever. There are places in my life, the unexpected gift. I was on the phone with my wife when I didn't really know her. And she called me because she had booked me cause she was an entertainment director of a casino that I did a show at. She called me maybe a year later, and in my show I talked about recovery. She said, I've got a handyman. He's on my roof right now. is horribly addicted. He's peddling speed around town on his bicycle, literally peddling speed. And she said, and he's in great trouble. And I said, let me talk to him. And she said, what? I said, let me talk to him. I'll give him my number, whatever. And she said, okay, he's on the roof. I said, you have a handheld? I said, yeah, give it to her. So I talked to him that day. I said, I'm going to be speaking at a meeting, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Would you come? And of course, the last person he wanted to talk to was me. He disappeared then. Yeah. But she came and heard me speak, and we fell in love, and we've been married 11 years now. So, it's. And a lot of times, the person that you will give your card to or your phone number to is the first thing they want to do is throw it away.
Sure.
But for those that don't, and the recovering community and the organization that I never mentioned by name on the air that saved my life, that community is endlessly giving and always there. If you're sitting at home and you're struggling with alcohol or drug addiction or any kind of addiction, there's a whole wonderful, wonderful family waiting for you to help you. They help me. They still do.
Well, dude, always great to see you. And by the way, you look fantastic, too. You just
running 2 miles every day. People walk by me while I'm running, but I'm running for my speed, which is really rude, But, yeah, it's great to see you, too. And you're always so generous, man, with time. And
anytime you ever want to...
How are you? Look good.
Yeah, I feel good. Everything's okay, man.
Everything's clear and bright, and, and we'll remember this conversation tomorrow.
We will.
And one more time, I should go out with this. Boy Hunger is a spectacular organization. So jump online, Twitter and Instagram, and pay attention to this organization because they're doing great work. They do it year round. And congratulations, man. We didn't really get to talk that much, but because I just jabber away.
I've listened to the show for years. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Sirius is also a huge, huge supporter of Why Hunger.
Are they
almost every show on the station?
Yeah. And we have ASCAP and Sirius have a great relationship as well. Fantastic. And you guys have been, as I say, Ron, you've been so kind, and we really appreciate it. So I'll drop my email address. My Instagram is PaulyLama2, and my Twitter is the letter M, Paul Williams. If I can be of service, get in touch.
ASCAP.com too. Thank you so much, my friend. I'll see you next time. Great to see you.
Big hug.
Is in the studio with us. How are you, my friend?
I am great and happy to be here, and I might smell, so I apologize. I'll keep my elbows locked to my sides.
You're worried about the fact that you think you stink after working out, but quite frankly, I think you smell better than you ever had.
There's like a certain musk about him, right?
Yes.
Really picking up
masculine musk.
Do you really smell the musk? Because as nice as that is, I feel horrible if that's true.
Sorry, I don't at all.
All right, good. No. I'm sitting in a different position. Everything's all off here.
Well, here's what happened with Richard here. We just had Paul Williams, the songwriter.
Of course, here. Paul Williams.
And then you came in after. And by the way, everybody is in recovery. Paul Williams was just talking about it. And fun. You and I both just did a podcast separately last week, or 2 weeks ago, that had something to do with, what's the name of it?
I Quit, Jamie Lassau's podcast.
Yeah, he goes, I Quit, yeah. So I go, who else is doing this? And it was some names. And then he used you, and I'm like, well, I can't do any bottomed out stories because Joe List is the best that have ever happened.
Well, lucky for you, I quit doing that podcast.
Really? Good.
My girlfriend got sick. We got to do it at my house, and I was leaving for a week. And then Sarah Talamash, a wonderful lady friend of mine.
Still together, huh?
Yo, stronger than ever.
Good. I just, since Sam Morril, I'm always thinking everyone's breaking up.
No, we're stuck together forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, she got a little cold, so I said, can we reschedule? So whatever stories you told, they're king.
I would have done 2 of yours. I would. Your stories are so great.
Yes, or bad, depending on the perspective.
Well, you know what I like about your bottom out stories is they only happen to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where my stories are more about things I've done to other people.
Right.
And those are less fun to repeat.
Right. Well, once again, it's all perspective because I shit in a woman's shoe. So I didn't do something to
That
her.
shoe belonged to someone.
Yes.
She's out there.
It still does. It belongs to the Smithsonian now. It's under glass. And
did she try it on?
I don't know what she did with the shoe, to be honest with you. We didn't keep up a lot of communication.
She could have stored
No, that won't happen, will it? After the fact, no one wants to really be friends with you.
It's not like drinking champagne out of the shoe.
No, this would be shampoo.
Ooh.
You're hosting.
That wasn't
I like it. I like.
Delayed reaction.
The thing is, I think that your material is a little classier than that, generally, than shampoo.
The thing is, when I started saying it, I forgot. I didn't realize that shampoo is another thing. Instead of champagne,
it was just
shampoo.
fake poo.
Yeah, but shampoo is definitely a product.
You're hosting Joe List and Friends tomorrow.
Yes.
At Stand Up New York. Do you know who your friends are yet?
Yeah, I know who the friends are. It's a bunch of funny people. Samantha Ruddy. Do you know Samantha?
No, I don't know
She's
her.
a newer comic, and she's very funny. And Sarah Talamash, and Gary Veeder, and Mark Normand. Originally, it was supposed to be a live Tuesdays with Stories. That's my podcast that I snuck in there. And Mark was going to go to Australia with Amy Schumer, but then she canceled, so we made it. Well, he was going to Australia, so we turned it into a Joe List and Friends show. Then she canceled, and they were like, we can do the live pod. And I was like, well, I've already booked these shitty friends of mine. I can't. I don't want to rob them of $15 in the holiday season. And Tim Dillon is on. You must know Tim Dillon.
Well, everybody loves Tim.
Yeah.
This has been Tim Dillon's year. Where Joe List was, your breakout year was what, 2 years ago, 3?
Sure.
Before everything started happening. This is Tim Dillon. We're calling the new Joe List.
Well, that makes me sad because he was the guy I chose to be next year's breakout. I didn't realize he had broken out.
That's fine.
All right.
I mean, it takes.
Then he's really broken out.
Yes.
And by the way, he's probably the #1 breakout guy this year, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he did. He's doing very well. And then Mark Normand now is going to be on the show, and there might be a special guest, but I can't say if he will be there.
A big major name.
Big major name.
Major name.
Major
Big, I can't even speak.
Just write it down for me, and I promise you I won't say it. But I just want to say whether I'm overly impressed, whether I'm like, oh my God, I'm definitely, I mean, this is.
It's Johnny Manziel.
That would be
oh my God,
unbelievable.
imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote it really cool too.
Yeah, I like that.
You don't have to say it out. Don't say it out loud
No,
because I don't want people to know that there's initials involved in his last name.
I will say this.
I have no idea who it could be.
I want to go to the show suddenly.
Whoa.
Well, but you never know with these celebs.
He is a friend of yours. You've opened for this gentleman, right?
Yeah, I've become very good friends with him, I think. I mean, he might tell you a different story, but I stole some of his underwear. And
well, right now it seems like most of his good friends end up with their own TV show that he produces.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Just stay away from his shoes.
Well, that would be a big shoe to fill.
I think shit stories with Joe List would be something people would like to watch every Wednesday night.
Well, I think if he saw the way you wrote his name, your penmanship, that alone would make him
never in my life have I written anything
that is stunning.
God damn.
Pretty beautiful, yeah.
I'm like, that goes to show you how excited you are about the possibility. You really took your time with it.
And I'm left-handed.
It seems, and that means you have to write across your hand, right? Isn't that the problem with being left-handed?
Yes.
Let's see.
It's like I didn't realize, a friend of mine told me that you get the smudges on your hand because you are running your hand over what you have just written.
I'm not, I have to confess, I'm not actually left-handed. I was making a joke that nobody got,
okay.
I feel like. Because I wrote that with my right hand, and we talked about how beautiful it was.
Right, gotcha.
Everyone on the radio saw
but
do it with your right
I like that you couldn't live with us thinking that.
I know, he's the
lie.
person.
Like, you could have gone on, we never would have later said, hey, didn't you say you're left-handed?
Yeah.
But you're like, God damn it, I have to tell the truth on this.
That's my recovery talking. Lies out there.
Brian Regan is the only other person I know who goes, there's been a misunderstanding. Is everyone here okay? Did everyone get the beverage they wanted? That's what kills me about him. I don't care how big he gets. He's worried that each person in the room is happy, which is the exact opposite of a regular comedic point of view.
I suppose so. I feel the same way. I feel like Woody Allen talked about that. If anyone's suffering anywhere in the world, he can't feel good. I feel everybody's anxiety. That's why I'm so worried about the BO here.
But the
which I think is okay.
You know what? I'm starting to get used to it. But I'm just worried it's going to stick to my coat. And I have to go out later.
I can be quite clingy.
But do you think Robert Kelly is upset if somebody in the room doesn't feel well?
No. The thing about Bobby is not a good guy.
No.
That's the problem with him. Geez, I'm kidding again. Jesus, folks.
Oh, God.
He's a wonderful man.
Somewhere he's crying. But I know Vito, he turned you inside out when you tried to do a quick interview with him the other day, right?
Yeah, he kind of bullied the shit out of me.
Yeah. But you loved it.
I had a great time with him. Yeah. He judged me at Comedy 101, so we've been through this game before.
Yeah. Well, Jim Norton said that his thing is when all those guys would be beating up on him, tough crowd type group, he would be thinking to himself, the funniest guys in the world know who I am and they're making fun of me right now. And that is the best way of looking at it. Like, this is amazing. This is really big league pitching that I'm here for. It's exciting for you.
Yes, it's all very exciting. Too exciting. It's so exciting. I get terrified and nervous and scared. And
do you still get concerned before a show?
Not about a show, but everything else. I get concerned about World War III and climate change and AIDS and all the stuff.
Then you've got the right president, because
he's going to take care of you.
All the stuff your therapist has told you not to worry about, this guy's rolling the dice on.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's going to do a fine job. I'm getting some flack right now because he tweeted, congrats to John Kennedy winning the Louisiana whatever. And I wrote, hey, dummy, John Kennedy represents Massachusetts and he passed away many years ago. And multiple people have tweeted at me being like, it's a different guy, you idiot, you liberal piece of shit. I'm like, jeez, I'm aware.
You're a libtard.
Yes, I am a libtard.
Yeah,
everybody.
And a Trump cock.
Oh yeah.
Chris has the shirt that he wants us to wear. The Trump cock.
Everyone needs to wear one this holiday season
because we've been cucked by Trump.
Yeah, the whole country's been cucked.
Oh, I see. Okay. I've been called a cuck recently.
You have?
Yeah.
By somebody that Sarah was dating, or that would really hurt.
No, these Twitter people that call you a cuck.
So you battle with Twitter people, even though...
No, I just say things on my podcast, and then they write back something,
Well, you can't say anything to any political point of view now, right? No matter which side you go.
Now, did you say something that was remotely positive about a woman? Is that what...
I think
because that seems like usually what happens.
Right. Maybe it was critical of Trump. I think I talked about how he was the grab him the pussy thing.
Right.
And then people were mad at me for not being cool with a guy.
Do you know that? Do you know that's the only thing I've agreed with Trump on? Right. And I'm like, maybe I've misjudged him.
But that's like your wall. Like, you don't know why he dropped that. Yes. You were like, I thought that was something we were all going to be able to start doing and getting away with.
Yeah, I did a little research. He's incorrect about that. You're actually not allowed to grab them by their pussies.
Even if you're famous.
I don't believe so. Okay. I mean, I am not famous, but I have famous friends who might be at my show tomorrow. Who knows, folks?
I'm going to be at this show now.
Oh, please come.
That's Joe List with Friends tomorrow, December 13th at Stand Up New York. Go to standupny.com for tickets. And on Twitter, it's at Joe List Comedy.
Okay, no, we lost you for a second.
Yeah, it's normally, it shouldn't be dead burp there. I think that's what happened. A little odd to happen to you. Yep. But I'm going to go to the show, and when you announce him, I'm just going to hold up the sign around the room. I knew first. I kept a tickle lock on the go.
By the way, this gentleman we're speaking of He's got a show the next night at, I'm not going to give it away, but he's performing at Madison Square Garden the next night.
Right.
Okay.
So sometimes he'll warm up. This is the conversation. He will warm up before.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, if you're looking to get on Tuesday, I'm hosting a show at Stand Up New York. And he went, oh, maybe. I haven't been there in a while. That's the extent of the maybe.
So he's definitely going to be there. Definitely there. Yeah,
I don't want you guys to.
You know what I love about that too? Like, if you were looking to get on, I know it would be a struggle for you to have a club that you could drop in on the night before you do Madison Square Garden.
I know it's booked up.
Yeah, I'm sure the seller would be like, sorry, we can't do it.
And then he'd be like, oh, I
Chris
remember
Rock is
Joe
here.
mentioning this.
Might be a nice episode if he decides to do his show again. Where do I get on before that happens?
I got some bad news about that show.
I was going to talk to Gurian today because he gave his first bad review
Wow.
in history. What? No, he's not outside.
He's gonna run in with a chair.
Standing right behind you.
That's the impression that Big J does of him, is like, while Big J is talking, he just starts to write on paper. And I don't know why, it's made me laugh harder than anything else. But he's never given a bad review until he went to an HBO taping by Gerard Carmichael.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Did not like it. Did not think it was a good show. And I think he's a very funny man.
Is this a new Gerard Carmichael?
Yes, it just got done just the other day. And, the thing is, because his career is going fast, I was like, maybe the special wasn't his idea. You know what I mean? Like you ever see people, they'll put out a book and you know that they weren't looking to write a book, but someone just went, I'll give you $2 million.
Right.
If you write about your life. And you can see that they were not really into it. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe
And
that's starting to happen with specials now.
where they're just like,
sometimes
the time is now for you. Let's strike while the iron's hot instead of being prepared.
Yeah, take your money. You know, the money's here today. You're going to do it. And I would say yes to anything like that. If it was that kind of money.
That could be.
Is Jeffrey on the line?
Yes, he is.
They just wrote Gurian down twice for him.
Duran Duran?
Yeah.
The band?
And he ran. Gurian, how are you, my friend?
Bennington, what's up, my brother?
You wrote the first bad review of your life.
Of my life, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Tell
you know
us
how hard it was for me to do that?
Tell us what happened.
Well, look, my choice, I respect everybody that goes on stage. As a performer, I know how hard it is to get up there. So my rule is, like, if I don't like something, I don't write about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but this was a big thing, and I had a choice. Like, am I going to just leave it out and not say anything? And I left there very confused. You know, I went there rooting for this guy because I had heard how great he was, you know. And
he is great. I think he's hysterical.
You know, and he's got this show on NBC, and, you know, I just went there, like, expecting to have a really good time, and I didn't understand what happened. And when I read the tweets, you know, online, I realized that I'm not the only one who felt that way. It was the most unusual,
what went wrong?
Strange. What went wrong?
Yeah.
First of all, it felt like he was reaching for something that he didn't really accomplish. He started out, like, he ran out on the stage with a lot of energy. First of all, it started very late. I wasn't at the first taping. And a lot of the tweets that I read seemed to pertain to what happened at the first taping, like some terrible joke that he told about the Holocaust and all. I didn't hear that. That didn't happen at my taping. But so there was a long delay until it started. People were getting restless. And then this comic comes out, and he's not introduced, his opening act, and at first I thought he was just there to tell the audience what the rules were. You know, they usually have somebody address the audience before. And then he started telling jokes, and I realized he was the opening act, but he was never introduced. You know, he had a piece of paper.
Yeah, but
in
that
his
part's
hand.
not going to make the TV special.
No, but it sets the tone for the evening.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I mean, from the moment that you walk in, everything that happens sets the tone for the evening. It's all about the energy of the evening, right?
Oh.
And so we're waiting for this thing to happen, and then he goes, you know, he's going to come out and do a tight hour. I'm like, okay, cool. So he runs out on stage, and right away he says, so what do you think I should talk about? And right away, that drains all the energy from the room. When a comic asks the audience, what do you think I should talk about? I'm not sure what to say. And then I thought he was going to be kidding and just lead into jokes. But he stood there like wondering what to do, you know? And then there was like a lot of silence. And then he started out by making a comment of how people were dressed. He said, you look like you're dressed to go to your grandfather's funeral. And then he mentioned his own grandfather, and he's like, F that N-word, you know? And he goes, and that's where we're going to start.
Why doesn't he say the full words? He's black.
He said it.
Don't you say.
He said it, but I'm not getting trapped into repeating what he said.
But here's the thing. I think I'm now starting to be offended by the initial. You know what I mean? Because you
would like to drop the letter completely.
I would.
Listen, I am so politically correct. I don't even take the N train.
Okay, that's
take it every day.
You know.
Do you take the W instead?
Yeah,
but it seems like
it
seems like you're saying that the N train is just for ends.
I take the B train.
Oh boy,
yeah.
Here we go.
Oh boy,
this is trouble.
Not good.
As a cuck, I don't approve of anything.
Do you want a shirt?
Anyway, it was the weirdest.
Trump cuck shirt.
I think I'm good.
You're not. You're not. Trust me.
I think I'm good. You, like the rest of the people who would be purchasing. No, fine.
You're not, though.
He doesn't want to sweat it up.
No.
I want to know more about this set. So was it laughs? Did he bomb?
You know what? It's hard to put it into terms. I never heard such slow talking. First of all, there were times when he spoke so quietly that I couldn't even hear him, and I was sitting right above the stage. I literally couldn't hear what he was saying, and I was looking at other people around me to see if they had the same response as I had. A lot of people were just watching, you know, not really laughing. There were people that laughed, of course, but, you know, a lot of times people laugh to be polite because they're expected to laugh. Exactly, just like that. Yeah. That's what it sounded like to me, you know?
How did you get seats above the stage?
And there were people who laughed almost too loud, you know, just like as if they were trying to prove something, that they were just there for supporting.
All right, so bad opening act, a racist.
It wasn't a bad opening act. He was
I'm
funny.
sorry.
I didn't know who he was.
Hey,
he
I
wasn't
apologize,
introduced.
100%. No beef here, big man.
I think
I'm
it was
backing down.
the pauses. There were such long pauses in between, and the slow speaking. He just spoke so slowly and like deliberating
slowly and
over every
lowly.
word.
Yeah.
You know, saying like he wanted to make sure he said things in the right way. And then the repetition was weird. He would take like a chunk of his act and repeat it verbatim, like word for word, several times throughout the performance.
Do you think that like a director told him to do that? Like,
no, I have a feeling that was his own idea.
or he just forgot that he did the material?
Well, I know
that's what I
another
thought the
famous
first
black
time.
comedian.
The first time, I really thought he forgot because it was word for word. And I'm like, he just said that. And then I realized he was doing it purposely because he did it a few times.
Not that old comedy thing, say it 3 times, it's funny?
I don't know if it's the same routine, though.
So, yeah,
you know
the
what I mean?
same joke. Well, like, the more he's stacking things up, it's just like as though he took his shoe off and sat in the middle of the stage. This is getting to be intense.
Yeah. All right, so let's get this straight.
Choose the show.
Terrible opening act, just dreadful.
Trash.
No, I never said that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, I thought the opening act was bad.
No, it just came as a surprise. I didn't know it was an opening. Usually there's an announcer that said, hey, coming to the stage.
No announcer.
So-and-so.
No announcer.
No announcer. Bad opening act, and then
Okay.
Third time.
Buddy on the threes. This one we're using.
This was very stressful for me.
Yeah. Oh, you were stressed and some of the people were laughing too low, and some of the people were laughing too loud.
That sounds like an okay
I like
crowd.
people who laugh in unison.
And the pauses weren't perfect.
It was the weirdest, the most unusual performance that I've ever seen. Actually, really.
Was it funny? Was the joke
TV
funny?
taping?
That doesn't matter.
You know, look. Yeah, it was weird. Let's put it that way. It was really weird. I'm anxious to see what the editing people do, Are they going to put that together? A lot of the tweets said that, too. There were a lot of negative tweets about it.
Let's just hope they announce the editors.
Pardon me?
They should announce the editors at least.
At least. That's the least that they could do, was announce the editors. Yeah, it was just a very weird performance, and it went long. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, he was trying to remember. He didn't want to end because he was trying to remember things that he had wanted to talk about that he thought he left out. And they were saying, "You did it all. It's great. We got it."
Who said that to him?
Somebody was yelling out on a microphone.
Was that opening act?
The announcer.
But you got it. You got it. They were yelling out, we got it.
The announcer should have been like this. Seventh joke.
And they didn't redo anything. Usually after a taping, sometimes
you want to see stuff redone.
We want to reshoot this thing. But they ran out of tape, they yelled out.
Well, there's no such thing as that anymore.
It's digital.
This is,
hard drive.
Were they just saying that?
We're out of tape.
That's what I thought was strange.
We haven't used tape in 18 years.
They said that was what they said. Actually, somebody yelled out,
all right.
We ran out of tape.
All right, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I'm on your team.
Freaking out.
I'm not that fucked up opening act. It was terrible. I'm with you.
Maybe it was gaffing tape, or what do you call it? The tape.
We call it in the business Jim Gaffigan.
My German friend that was with me, he said he understood every word. That's how slow he spoke.
But look how far we've come in life that Jeffrey has a German friend.
Isn't
that great?
That's wonderful. That's really
Didn't
beautiful.
see it coming.
Yeah, when I was a kid 75 years ago, that never would have happened. They were warm.
Yeah, didn't like each other.
Mm-mm.
It was just so. Were you shocked when you read my column?
I couldn't believe it because you go out of your way to never say anything bad. And then when you were discussing it, you said you know how those people are. And I'm like, wow, Jeffrey is really going in a different direction.
It's terrible, really.
Not only was I negative, I was racist as well. Huh?
Yeah. Now, did you?
No, but it was very hard for me to write. I really had to make a choice. Do I just leave it out or do I say something about it? And I just thought it was really weird. I didn't even want to put a value judgment. I just said it was the strangest, most unusual performance that I've ever seen. I never saw somebody come out and do stuff like that, and especially for something big like a TV special. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I can't wait for this now.
Yeah, me too.
No.
Yeah, it's going to be, who knows?
No, I never. See, the thing is, I don't want you to go to Joe List when he does his special because I'm worried about bad press. I want to keep it positive.
Well, he's going to have an announcer.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Is that Joe? Is Joe there with you?
Okay, sorry. Yes, Joe's sitting here. He's talked to you.
Well, you're like the announcer from that special. You didn't even tell me Joe List is on. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Jeff, how are you? Great to see you.
I'm good, man.
I'm here,
He's been
too.
talking to you. Gail's
I'm here.
Well, I don't do magic. I don't recognize his voice.
Well, that's
magic?
not magic.
Jeez.
You're supposed to say, hey, we're here with Joe List, so I would know. When is your special, Joe?
Oh,
He's not doing one now.
Not.
He's afraid to tell me now, right?
Yesterday.
You don't want to tell me?
Yeah, we have no date yet, but I got a good new 28 minutes of material, so.
Good. Well, I look forward to
How many do you need altogether? 45?
I think an hour.
Really? They still doing it? You get to go the full hour?
I have more than 28, by the way. I was trying
New material?
to you guys on.
He'll repeat a couple, add some pauses.
What are you kidding? Nude material.
You have done the nude shows.
Years ago, I did the nude show, but then I came down with a case of herpes and put it into my nude career. It's like Braille down there, folks. Looks like it's...
You'll never work another nude show.
But yeah, I did. Years ago, I did the nude show, and I thought it'd be fun to shave. I wanted to do Mickey Mouse ears in my pubic hair, so I shaved these big, but it just looked like an elephant ears with a big, thick, long trunk.
With herpes on the end.
Those are the tusks.
Now, when you do a show like that, you know a lot of the women in the audience, and
Yeah, there wasn't many women at this particular
Wow, that's
program.
bad then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was.
Joe, was that the show at the Creek in the Cave?
No, I did it years ago before it was. I did it at the old Pit. This is like 07-ish.
Oh, that was before nudity became popular even. That's crazy.
So you went to the one at the Creek in the Cave, and then somebody told me that Jeffrey stood on the chair to
gaze.
watch. Yeah.
To cheer on Corinne Fisher.
Yes.
Don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah.
By the way, have you seen the club that they're opening up across the street? It's called the Greek and the Rave, and I think they're trying to.
Wow.
I think they're trying to confuse people. Just a Greek guy. Come in
To my rave. Wow, that does sound kind of fun.
That does sound fun.
I was watching a DJ just do EDM, and it was just him and two people in the room. And it just seems like you need a lot more people. Richard was with me. Yes. Richard Lerner is here.
Hello, that's me.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
You don't react to that, Jeffrey?
Hey, Richard, how you doing, man?
Hi, Jeffrey.
You know him, right?
He didn't want a bad review. He had him let you know I was here.
You know Richard, right?
I think I do know Richard, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
He manages Gerard Carmichael.
He stopped off on the way
The
over
pauses
here,
were
right?
my idea.
All right, Jeffrey, I'm going to let you go and let you go out and ruin some other careers.
Okay, guys. See you soon.
Bye, Jeffrey.
Bye-bye. So long, Gail. So long, Joe.
Okay.
Bye, Joe.
And
Bye-bye.
I don't get it.
I'm Chris. So long, Chris.
And come on,
And
Rick.
Richard.
Finally.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I'm starting to get the feeling that Jeffrey thinks he can beat me up the way he was yelling at me there. Just seems like he's,
Well, he was upset when you talked about the opening act. You didn't introduce Joe. He got tough with you.
Why don't I didn't want to out anybody, but that's what you're supposed to let him know when you call.
I thought Joe had a really recognizable voice that Jeffrey would know.
Jeffrey doesn't recognize anything.
He recognized me.
Yeah.
Because we go back so far.
I've seen Jeffrey pass a joint to a mirror.
That was a Chris Rock show.
And then he goes like this, "Oh, you have a joint." Can you imagine back to when Jeffrey used to get high? How weird that would be.
That was when he invented the wall of sound, isn't it?
Now, he's taking that to the wall of hair.
This is his time of year. I very much enjoy his Christmas record.
Yes. That is true. That is maybe the most famous Christmas record of all time.
It's my favorite, and it's my go-to when I'm decorating is Phil Spector's Christmas.
And again, another Jew who makes Christmas music for people.
Oh, interesting.
Most of the great Christmas songs, Irving Berlin, George Gershwin, those are Jewish guys.
Neil Diamond.
It's fascinating that the Jewish people have written the best, and then they've never written one good Hanukkah song.
Yeah, not a one.
Yeah.
Not a one.
Maybe we're too close to it. You know what I mean? You're too close to it. It's
Yes,
hard to work with me.
I think today's the first year in a long time that Hanukkah and Christmas fall on the same year.
Oh, on the same day.
Yeah. So it's the dreidel in the tree. The dreidel in the tree.
Beautiful.
I said one time when I was a kid, I go, "So you guys have a dreidel instead of a tray, right?" And they're going, "Well, it's different than that."
It's not really comparable.
You're really trying to simplify something.
It's a go-to, though. It's like everyone knows there's a tree for Christmas.
So what do you guys do? Worship a dreidel? Is that it? You're done spitting?
Is it a giant dreidel?
So what's the deal with this dreidel god you got?
And then I got dreidel confused with ladle. And I'm like, get me a drink out of a bucket.
I think I just got those two things confused.
Yeah. Just happened now?
Yeah, what is a dreidel?
A dreidel is like a battling top. It's a little spinning top.
Yeah.
And the Jewish kids play with that.
I was thinking ladle.
Gamble on it.
Yeah.
You were thinking
The scoop,
ladle?
All this time.
You have never heard the term dreidel?
Ladle.
I always thought it was
Made of clay.
Just a clay thing to
ladle,
drink out of.
Yeah, I really did think that. But dreidel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was for chicken soup or something.
Yeah. Dreidel. This isn't any fun. But when we were kids, were like, well, they get 11 nights. Is 11? No, 8.
8.
They get 8 nights. It's cheating. But then you find out it's not 8 fun nights.
Right.
You know?
And I think you just get a little something.
Just one night of socks.
You get, I think you get one big day where you get a big present, but yeah, some of them are just leading up. Some of it just could be a dreidel. I think it's oh great, another dreidel to the collection.
Did they ever get ladles? Maybe that's what I was thinking. Maybe Tuesday's ladle day.
The only people who had ladles was people in wagon trains. I mean, a ladle, it's actually used more for old football games. They would have a ladle. They would ladle.
Like punch or something?
But not during. Not punch. You have water.
Yeah.
The old water bucket had a ladle. Yeah, you can ladle punch, and then I think you ladle soup more than anything else.
Yeah, that's definitely for ladling.
Yeah.
But there's something about like an Old West movie where they're drinking with a ladle. It looks very refreshing.
Right.
You're just like, oh, I'm so thirsty. I'll just drink straight from the ladle.
And then what they do, did you ever notice they drink it and they'll kill the water in it, and then they flick the ladle.
That's all you do.
It cleans it off.
The next person is drinking your mouth.
You're coming up with a great idea here. It's a ladle bar. Okay?
Well, you can ladle beans. You can ladle beans at Bennington's.
Okay. This is another thing we came up with earlier.
Yeah,
Bennington's.
I feel like I don't even need to hear a story. I'm already caught up. Bennington. Got it. Love it.
Why didn't you tell me Joe List was there? You're doing a bad job, Ron.
I think now that I realize a lot of our themed restaurants we come up with are Old West. It's Westworld. Beans and ladle drinks.
By the way, I watched the girl from Westworld won on the Critics Award last night.
Mm-hmm.
Stunning. Beautiful.
Is this the one who's Maeve? That one? Or
Dolores.
the Dolores?
Dolores
Yeah.
won. Maeve was nominated, did not win.
That's insane.
I think they gave it to Meryl Streep instead.
Of course.
She's good.
She is good. You know what? I would like her to do more accents. And do you think Meryl Streep goes like when the first day she gets the script, she's going, and what's my accent in this one? What am I doing? How do I transform myself?
I just saw Manchester by the Sea yesterday.
I saw it.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but I was moved. I thought it was wonderful.
Moved to tears?
Nah, not moved to tears. Not even driven to tears. Come on out,
to
Sting.
tears. If Sting walked through here, I'd go fucking crazy. And then I'd start yelling, I knew it.
And yet you didn't.
Well, he had written down very beautifully, Sting.
Sting, that we gave it away. Sting might be at the Louis C.K. show tomorrow at Stand Up New York.
It's Joe List and Friends. Go to standupny.com for tickets.
And some of those people want to say that Joe's pushing it when he says friends. Acquaintances, co-workers,
Acquaintances,
peers.
at best.
Yeah. Fiancés. Certainly not friends.
I just worry about you, too.
That would be a really horrible way to tell her that the wedding's off.
Yeah.
I invited you to Joe List and Friends.
You're
Because that's all
headlining.
I see you as.
Joe List and just friends for now. We'll see how it goes.
Now, do you two have to see every movie together? Is it a problem if you don't see every movie together?
No, because I'm on the road a lot, so I feel like there's like a road clause where you're
Okay.
like not to be confused with Santa Claus, folks. But it's like a road clause. I'm out there in the middle of nowhere. I got to go see a movie, but we try to see it.
But if you're both in New York and like you run into like, she goes, "What did you do today, Joe?" And you said, "Oh, I went to see Manchester by the Sea." That would be a problem.
Not a problem. She's pretty laid back. It's more a problem the other way around.
You would be furious.
Because, like, sometimes, like, that documentary, Amy, about Amy Schumer, Winehouse, she kept criticizing, she's like, I think it's going to stink, it's going to be bad, and I don't want to see it because of the way it's whatever. And then I was like, man, all right, jeez. And then I came home one day, and she's like, I watched that Amy, it was pretty great. And I was like, well, you talked me out of it. We would have seen it together. But,
marriage is off.
yeah. Awful. I got to stop with the whatever the hell these things are.
Never stop.
They're going great.
It's getting better as it goes along.
It's real bad.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I don't think it's too much of a problem. But we did see this one together.
Gail, do you have to make sure you guys see movies?
I would be pretty upset if my boyfriend went to go see something that he knew I wanted to see. If there was a circumstance, let's say, what are those movies where a bunch of old guys all do action together?
Karate, like
He's like Stallone?
Yeah.
Expendables.
Expendables.
Oh,
He and his friend, they go see every Expendable.
What?
That's
And
odd.
I'm like, have a great time. I
I've
hope you
never
guys
had a friend
really
that close that I'll go to
enjoy
Expendables with.
your Expendables. And like, it's a funny thing for them, and then they joke, and then they like go out for a drink and joke about the Expendables, and that's their thing, and that's great. But if, let's say, I found out a Manchester by the Sea had been seen without me, I would be really upset. I would be very upset. Hurt.
I'll also go see movies a second time, and she's okay with. I saw it, but I'll see it again with you.
You
And
like
then,
to see a movie a second
I
time.
like to see a movie a bunch of times if it's great. If I liked it, you know.
What's your favorite movie this year?
Hell or High Water.
Mine
Same.
too.
Yeah.
Same.
Tremendous.
I wanted to win things, and yet Eastside Dave told me he went after listening to us rave about it on the show, did not like, and he said the lead actor ripped off the No Country for Old Men bit.
I think it was excellent.
I'm
And
like,
I
the guy's from
respectfully
Texas.
disagree.
That's how people in Texas act and talk.
Which lead actor? Jeff Bridges?
No.
Or
The
Ben Foster? Oh, not Ben Foster.
not
The other guy.
Yeah, the other guy.
That was my only Chris Pine.
Yeah.
That was my only flaw issue with the movie. Is Chris Pine is way too sexy to be this like down and out Texas guy.
But
Like,
I
he
thought
would
he
have got out.
pulled
He's
it
so
off
hot.
pretty well. Like, I thought it was pretty believable, despite the fact that he's clearly an attractive man. In fact, I was like, he was like one of those guys who, he's always on every list. Oh, Chris Pine's attractive. Never really thought about it. I saw him in that, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Chris Pine has something going on for himself.
Here's something to make everybody feel old. 25 years ago this weekend, Hook came out.
Oh, wow.
Now, it is considered by a lot of people the worst of the Spielbergs, and yet I feel like it's a cult thing. Like, if you bring up Rufio, everybody's like, Rufio. Like, you don't talk to anybody who doesn't do the Rufio thing, said that they love that. But it wasn't a hit when it came out with the kids, and it wasn't a hit with the critics.
It was a hit with this kid.
I'm going to
was
put
a big
this out for
fan.
Movie Talk. Why do you think it was? Why do you think it didn't do well? Why is it not a classic?
I don't know. I think young people still, like people who were young when it came out, really like it. But it's always hard to say why something ends up being more of a cult classic rather than hit at that very moment in time.
I'm going to give you this. I think if you're a kid, do you really want to watch Robin Williams older as an unhappy pan? And then the kid who's like the kid age, he's like hypnotized or weirded out through the, you know what I mean?
Run Home Jack?
Yeah, you don't root for that kid.
Yeah.
He's a weirdo. You root for Rufio. You know what I mean? Rufio is the fucking dude. They made the movie. You don't really like Peter Pan, and you don't really like his kid.
Yeah, but it's still I was a sensitive kid, and it's a sensitive, nostalgic movie, so I cried a lot. Oh, there you are, Peter. All that stuff is just like too much.
Peter Pan.
Yeah.
What's that? You're not
sensitive and
yeah.
It's to me, it's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the remake.
Yeah, but
Willy
you
Wonka.
don't. But now you suddenly have a 44-year-old kind of bloated Peter Pan instead of a 12-year-old. I didn't ever know how kids were supposed to identify with that Peter Pan. Like, hey, he's middle-aged and he's really got a lot of work to do.
Maybe it's that, like, it plays into that fear of why children fear growing old is to be not fun, to lose, to lose yourself, who you think you are as a child.
Perhaps it was the middle-aged dreidel-spinning pirate, if you know what I mean. Folks weren't buying it.
Can I tell you the truth? You couldn't have been more blunt. Yes.
It was also a long setup. It was very lengthy before they got into Neverland.
But,
no, you're very right.
But the cross-dressing Glenn Close brought him back. That's when they were like, I'm back in. Years before I found out that was Glenn Close. Years.
The fun guy was Smee.
Smee
he was good.
He was terrific.
Yeah. And then Phil Collins was in that movie, too, for some reason. Phil Collins was one of the pirates. Really? I don't know if most kids picked up on that.
Yeah, he was in it. And then what's the guy who played Smee? Bob
Hoskins.
Yeah.
Of Who Framed Roger Rabbit fame.
Yes.
Nobody's debating how great that film is.
No. That's the film that turned Disney around. That's the film that rebooted Disney in the late 80s.
They were in that much trouble?
They were going to sell it out. They were breaking up the company, and it got saved. They were going to fucking part out Disney. There's a book, I think it might be Barbarians at the Gates or whatever, but they were inches away from selling the movies to like TBS, selling the parks to somebody else.
Just fucking fire sale.
Yeah, fire sale. You put it perfectly.
I feel like you got mad at Chris for not knowing this about Disney. That was really, you got hot.
Well, I'm still, the problem I have with Jeffrey Gurian earlier, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, he took control. Why can't I?
I should have known that, though.
Where are we at the end of this? I should have known everything there was about Disney.
God,
have you been to Disney?
You are the cook.
I've never been to Disney. I've never been. Disney World or
Disney?
Disneyland.
I went, it's a thing that happened in my life that I'm sad about. I went, in 1991. I was 9. I kept talking about Space Mountain. I love space. I was excited to go to Space Mountain, and then I chickened out at the last minute. And my family still brings it up, and they're like, "You pussy, you piece of shit." And I'm like, "Well, I've been on a fucking Black Hawk helicopter in Baghdad, and I've been in a war zone, and they're still like, yeah, you pussy." They call me the F word.
I've been in a Black Hawk helicopter in Baghdad. How can I be the F word?
I still want to snap. I go, you work at Sears. I pursued my dream. I'm a pussy. You did nothing. You never tried anything in your life. Nothing. I fucking chickened out. And here's why. Because Space Mountain, it's single file. You sit. You don't get to sit. I don't get to sit next to my mother, and then you had to sit by yourself, and it scared me. I'm a child.
Somebody, I can't think of what it was, but many, many years ago, said that's Space Mountain is what it feels like to be in a bathtub with a woman, where she's kind of in front of you. There's no comfortable bathtub. It's a very Space Mountain type thing.
Yeah.
But you got very angry, too. So all of us have gotten angry at one point or the other during today's show. Richard Lerner, you got to meet Joe List. You got to meet Paul Williams, and you did great radio today.
You did an excellent job.
Your only problem is you got here a little early. Come in with seconds to spare like I do.
That's
I'm not a professional.
Fast show today, though.
I know.
It feels like Joe List just got here.
Yeah.
Joe List is hosting Joe List and Friends tomorrow, December 13th at Stand Up New York. Go to standupny.com for tickets. On Twitter, it's at Joe List Comedy. At Joe List and Friends, Samantha Ruddy, Sarah Tolomash, Gary Veter, Mark Norman, Tim Dillon, and possibly a special guest.
He's not coming. Let's be honest. Come on.
No, possibly a special
guest. If he's
guest.
not there, David Tell will show up.
Stand Up NY for tickets.
Yeah. All right, that's it for us, huh? We got to get out of here.
Yes, we do.
Hard outs today. All right, we'll see everybody again in 1974.